Hello again, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Chats with Jack Talcott. Today the panel is open again. Welcome to another beautiful day. And, the intro keeps changing. I'm changing this channel and things are changing. So for those who are tuning in later, if this is new to you, please do the algorithm thing. Subscribe so you get notified of future live streams and future updates. So I got to give it up. The thumbnail art, and even the intros, they're not mine. Um, those were contributions of people who were helping. And golly, geez, I love them. I love what I've received. But Kidro was crediting with the opening. I'd love to talk to you again if you happen to catch this. I think it's time for some updates. But for those who are tuning in, thank you. Jeff hates pigs, Dave Oliver, and anyone else who shows up. Today I am coming from an inspired place. And for those who know, you know, okay? I considered putting in the title an invitation to Paul Unslaved and Zetetic Warrior. I know they're co-creating right now over on the Proper Instruction Motivates People platform. So for those who have a connection, please extend the invitation. I'm still blocked from the chat over there. and I didn't want to interrupt the flow over there this morning, but my thoughts often, especially when I'm thinking about myself, the story of Jack Talcott. You guys are here. You're part of it. This is my adventure. And so I got to face my adventure every day. I get to, man. This shit is fun. I love being me. And that's the thing is I want you to love being you. I want you to realize how you can and what you can do. In case you're not. In case you're not. And I'm not saying anyone doesn't love themselves, but I know what I see. I know I see a lot of self-sabotage. I know I see the same patterns I used to exhibit myself. I see myself in so many people. But so if that is you and you've been struggling to someone just dropped an interesting comment in the chat. If you've been struggling to love yourself, I want to encourage you to try and understand me. The comment was, bring your panel there. Golly, geez, what an interesting, yeah, why shouldn't I do that? Why shouldn't I take this on the road? I just have to think through it for a moment. Something I haven't tried to pursue yet. I don't know. You know what? I'm at a place in my life, I don't need to chase others anymore. I believe that's true. But see here, that was part of the inspirations I had earlier. And let's come back to the topic, Jack. I want to talk about God. That's honestly what I want to talk about. It's an important topic that I didn't give much attention to for most of my life. But I'm pretty sure that you probably should. You should probably start exploring, what does the word God mean? Because what if there is a God? Play your own devil's advocate. What if there is a God? What would that mean to you? Right? We've got all these religions saying you got to follow a religion to know a God, but I know that's not true. I know that the only relationship that really, really matters is What you're seeing is I paused myself because I made a claim that I know. I know that what really matters, and I want to make sure that what I'm sharing is true. I can explain my words in many different ways, so I know that what is my own doubts. I know what is probably most important to you is your relationship to God. Now, why I threw a little doubt in there, I don't know. Golly geez. I better think about these words myself. See, this is the power, the importance of freedom of speech is humans must be able to speak imperfectly so that they can better understand themselves. And the way we understand who we are, the way we understand ourselves is through each other. And it's not every other, it's the others that are brought into your experience. Okay, I hope this is making sense. We learn about ourselves through what we do, what we say. Okay, we learn about ourselves as we progress through time. The more time you spend with yourself, the better you're going to know yourself. Hello, guys. Please listen to me. I know myself very well. Those who have wanted to come out of the woodworks and be my critics, to challenge me and make me improve, I know pretty damn well who I am, and I know the mistakes that I make. I also know the damn good that I have available to share, which makes my story it's fascinating to me. Because I really do. I think God is using us all. I'm just one story. Well, all of you have been living your lives serving the purpose designed for you, preparing you for the future that's before you. You know, while you've been the suffering that has helped others, you've been the successes that others have admired. Every one of us is a unique and beautiful story. We are the expressions of that which was. And that which was is evidence. When I say that which was, I mean time and history. Everything we've learned, everything that humanity together has, good and bad, accomplished together. We're a part of that. And we're a part of the evolution structure, the processes and designs that are found inherent throughout nature, right? In our study of the animal species and the plant and the fungi and the bacteria, in the studies of all those things, we've learned more about ourselves. That's why Scientific America, Scientific globally uses studies on animals because of the similarities. We are that which was. We represent that which is. And the only thing withholding the potential is ourselves. The egoic mind, the limiting mind, the conditioning that is the result of our educational system and economic, political, and corporate structures. Those structures of conditioning on the human organism has filled the minds full of brainwashing and chemicals and all sorts of unnatural stuff, man. I mean, I didn't go through the experience, but I've seen other people do like these cleanses and like physical evidence of some pretty disgusting parasites. And dude, our bodies are a universe There is like a universe within us that is constantly in motion, constantly growing, dying, absorbing, cleansing, processing. There is constant activity within us. Every day is different, right? The seasons change, animals and plants, we all grow, age, and decay, right? And what do humans do? No, I don't want to change. I don't want to change my job. I can't lose that relationship. Oh my God. Fucking what? God, I was so stupid, man. I made myself miserable because I was attached to things from the past. Oh my God. I went through such misery, fucking crying and screaming, yelling, cursing. All because I thought people wouldn't betray me. Oh my God. Holy cows, man. Sometimes you just gotta laugh at your life. You gotta laugh at it. Because it's a drama. The life is a drama, it's an entertainment. It is, I'm pretty sure we were created for the delightment of God, right? Or the gods, right? The universe is watching humanity, I think, right? I actually believe in like the infiniteness of time and space, and perhaps even civilizations that have evolved beyond the levels of consciousness that humanity has. Um, you know, maybe civilizations in further distances, or maybe interdimensional. I don't know how it all works, but I believe that maybe there's civilizations of beings, ETs and angels, watching humanity, just saying, the fuck are you guys doing, man? What are you guys doing there on Earth? Don't you see what God has given you? Don't you see the majesty of the kingdom, Mother Earth, Gaia, this entire system of perfection that sustains life, right? It's like everything humanity has ever wanted or desired has always been here. What's been lacking is the knowledge of what to do with what has always been here. And you know, sometimes in our lives, we got to stop and reflect on that for ourselves. I've received and found a lot of things throughout my life, knowledge and talents, and, you know, even things I know that I suck at, things that I should probably, if I can avoid doing that stuff again, I should probably stay away from it. Dancing came to mind. um, sometimes in our lives, I think we should all and can all do this. Stop and take an inventory. As I'm saying this, it seems I did a video about this a long time ago. I think I called it super acceptance. Go through the process. I did this in recovery, but not with the intention and not with the foresight of how important it is to really know where you're at. Do a solid friggin' inventory. Your finances, your relationship, your health, your fulfillment, your joys. Where is your time being spent? How fulfilling are you allowing your life to be? Because once we take an inventory of where our life is, what our day-to-day function and thought processes are, we can get a more clear vision of, stepping back from the chaos, moment to moment, rushing from schedule to schedule, or whatever. Life can get busy. What I'm trying to get across is the importance of doing an inventory, kind of stepping back consciously, detaching from the facts, almost like you're a good friend of yours. You're taking it to a different perspective. Look at your situation like maybe someone like Jesus would. And if you were to look at your situation with the fearlessness, the courage, the compassion, the love, the strength of someone like Jesus, what would you do? That's a question and perspective I took on a lot. It allowed me to humble myself. Jack, you can forgive. Jack, they were right. You were wrong. You can improve. There was truth in their accusations. You showed some anger. They are not liars. They are credible witnesses. So the most important thing I've come to realize is the truth. The truth. The truth. That's the only thing that matters. Well, what is the truth? We can argue about it. Yeah. You can argue and you can create disagreements and you can imagine disagreements all you want. You can live your entire life disagreeable, bitter, resentful, hateful, hopeless, depressed, anxious. You can live your life to the very end however you want. I'm encouraging you to please want more. Want more of whatever it is that brings more life to you. And if depression makes you know that you're alive, then bring on that depression. Make yourself know that you live. And then when the suffering's enough, realize there's hope. There's people out there who care. There's solutions. See, the brainwashing of this society, it's built upon the egoic, primitive, selfish nature that is contained within the human. This war state, the prison state, police state, surveillance state, chemical state of existence we live in, this unnatural society of corporations and governments. God, I really distract from the point, don't I? These systems we were born into, this world is the satanic realm, shaitan, whatever. I don't know the right names, but here, that's a tip I learned, something I was thinking about earlier. Words are beautiful tools, right? Words reveal the meanings, and the meanings, that is the power of the truth, is what does something mean? When you know the meaning, when you contain that truth within you, that builds your character, your strength in what you know. You can apply that to knowledge of gardening, knowledge of construction, knowledge of logic, knowledge of emotions, knowledge of dance, knowledge of art. If you know it, you have a strength in that area. So knowledge is what makes us strong. Knowledge is what makes us unique. Knowledge comes from the language and the vocabulary we've learned. And everything we've learned, each of us, me, you, or anybody else, has come from the past environment of our experience. We got a guest.
Jack, how are you?
Oh, brother, I feel blessed and honored now. Thank you, brother.
Just checking in, saying hello. Keep up the good work, brother. I like what you
Thank
said.
you. Thank you. I appreciate that. The encouragement has been coming in more. I've
Good.
been receiving more encouragement and support. I mentioned I've had some folks contribute creativity and talent towards the graphics.
You deserve it.
Hey, brother, actually, I'm still figuring this out. So hold on. Hold on. Here we go. We got some overlays now too. And with you, man, you brought the love. I see it. I know it. I appreciate it. Respect.
Yes, important, Jack.
Well, brother, I I'm grateful for conversation. Okay. I notice when I talk, I can bounce around. I've been humbling myself, brother, pretty strongly. Um, Doggone it. Sorry, I just noticed something. I'll address it later. Um, I've been humbling myself more and more to God, right? And really, I was kind of getting into that subject before I allowed myself to distract, but the importance of what it really means, because I've been saying this and a lot of others are saying it, that this is the time of the divide, right? Um, Here, this is what I was looking for. Sorry for the distraction. There. Had to edit my face, the name. I believe this is the time. There is something special, something unique about this time for us. And there's something amazing that's happening through us all. I don't know exactly what that means. I have ideas of what it could mean for myself. And what I think it could mean for myself is what I've been saying. I think I've just had I've been blessed enough with the past few years of my experience to have the time and opportunity to really learn some different perspectives on things. And so in my experience, I can see pretty clearly that the past has been preparing me, and it's been preparing all of us. All of us have been preparing for the future in our lives. And I actually think the future in my life may include somehow speaking to people or spreading the message to end wars. And I do think we are going to be part of creating a world in the future where people around the world, humans around the world, where they live without fear, because we've overcome conflicts. We found ways to get along with everyone, and we found ways to support the growth and the recovery of every human, every nation on this world. I think it's going to happen, but I don't know how.
Unfortunately, Jack, I don't think it's going to happen. I There's always going to be somebody somewhere that's going to start up some crap, and there'll always be, even if it's made up, you know, from the government. Just not seeing it happening.
That doesn't mean that you have to have a downward, attitude or a limited attitude about your life. You can control your life. You can control how you react to these things. You can't control the free will of others. Others have free will to engage in, some would say, division or religious wars or bankers' wars. What do you want to call them? They choose that. That's their own free will, and we can influence them, maybe plant seeds, but we can't force them to see our point of view of peace.
I can see what I can understand where both of you are coming from, and there's no disagreement. What I'm challenging you to do, though, is to trust that this is a change. We're going through changes right now that are unique. This is a unique time. We have technologies, communications, we have discoveries, and things are happening today on a much more rapid pace than before. And in ways that really, I don't think most people have actually wrapped their minds around to understand what is really happening. And this is actually kind of where I was coming from, and if I may, to change the subject, to bring it back to me. Part of the reason I welcome you guys here so genuinely is I'm trying to improve my way of communicating. I know the vocabulary and the things I'm talking about, it doesn't always make a lot of sense. And part of what I've been studying and what I believe God has been preparing me to do was to become a more effective messenger. And Paul, I think that's why I met your son. And I think that's what him and I are supposed to do.
I think, Jack, keeping it more simple relates to more people. That's just my take on it.
Amen. And that's actually why I came on today thinking maybe I should just try and focus on the topic of God. While it's an uncomfortable topic and it's one that's caused a lot of confusion, if we can come together on what the true essence and nature of what all the religions are bringing, all of them are talking about there is an almighty, there is a presence, a perfection beyond that which is us, and they all come back to love and peace, and I believe unity is the message of all of them as well. If we can focus on those aspects of religion, we'll overcome everything else, because in the end, love is what has been missing from our justice and economic systems. That's why they're demonic. They have no love. We do. And through the power of love, my brother, that's what I've been studying too. I've been studying, God has blessed me, a stubborn man who's very logical, blessed me with the experience to where I had to humble myself, and eventually, it does. It all comes back to a divine presence, a God who loves us. And there is a perfect order to the way that everything has happened. When you understand that there is a cause and effect to everything, then you start gaining that's how I gained in my comprehension of God's perfection, is that there is an order to it all. We, myself or you or whoever it is, individually, we certainly don't know all the details involved in hardly anything. We're here at a time where there's many prophets, there's many gifted spiritual messengers, there's many scientific minds speaking out against the old ways. There's many people challenging through the systems, right? People bringing lawsuits against those who are manipulating the powers of the governments. And so we're in a tremendous period of change. And that's kind of where my thoughts have been, is that who I am, I'm a man who points out the obvious. That's who I've always been. It took me a while to point out that obviously God has a hand in all of this. And I'm not blaming God, I'm crediting God, because we are. We are representatives of the Creator in physical form. We have limited powers, and we've been brainwashed into giving all of our powers away.
Jack, do you think you have a privileged life in which you can preach peace and serenity where others aren't so lucky, such as in the Middle East? I had this conversation with somebody, because Americans or even Westerners in general, they always, dare I say, judge those who are in conflict. Like, why can't they just all get along? I'm just like, well, if you're in a situation where, you know, your house gets broken into because you're of a different religion or a different ethnicity, whatever the case may be, you know, wouldn't you want to protect that of what you value, your family, your house, your property?
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What you said, you described how I used to be. I used to have that mindset. And matter of fact, I'll admit it. Raised my hand at 17 under the Bush Senior, the first Bush propaganda got me to raise my hand as a kid. And I believed I had to go over there and, you know, teach those towel heads how to live together as civilized people and go impose the freedom of democracy that I represented. Teach those people how to live, man. I was a fucking fool. So, but that brings us kind of into what Senior was bringing up about the likelihood and the patterns of past wars. Me as a man the message that I want to point out and bring to the light of the American government and the American people, those who have the best position to end conflicts are those not involved in the conflicts. Okay, so America should not be funding a side in a war, picking a side, furthering the destruction of, well, the destruction that war brings. And honestly, the best way we're going to end wars, the way we're going to end conflicts and help overcome selfishness, is when each of us start working together to stop enabling it.
Well, Jack, wars, they've been talking about this for decades. One of the biggest peacemakers was Mr. John Lennon. I'm sure you're aware of him. Look what happened to him.
There's been hey, brother, there's been many examples given to us of why we should not stand up. I mean, Jesus is the perfect example. He stood up, and people have been murdering people in his example, you know, ever since. I had those thoughts. My inspiration personally was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. When I went back, and it was a natural progression for me. I mean, started out as a racist and then kind of grew into more than that through the military service and the time with the Union. And the Union exposed my mind to start really looking a little more into American history and looking at, well, I learned of the International Workers of the World, the Wobblies, standing up against wage slavery in the early 1900s, saw that there really was no end to the slavery of black people. It was just a shift of slavery under a different legal name. Anyway, studying the IWW, studying labor history, I started listening more to Dr. King's old speeches. He was standing up against war. He stood up, he died for workers, for those who labor for their wages, you know? His inspiration, listening to him, I was like, well, he actually kind of sounds like that guy named Jesus. The other Christians I knew didn't actually walk the walk, but he seemed to. And I saw he was murdered. Well, Paul, I remember as a kid, the conversation came up, like 5th grade, 4th grade. How do you want to die? You know? And as a kid, I wanted to be assassinated.
Oh,
Because if you're assassinated, that means
martyr.
you've risen to accomplish something, right? So I am not asking for assassination up to.
Be careful what you wish for, Jack.
That's what I was just saying. I am not intending that. And I am not testing God, but I do believe that when we turn to faith, when we give ourselves over to that, there is a higher power. There is one who does love me. There is one who is with me. Well, then you can open that up. You know, maybe there's angels around me. Maybe there are beings that I don't know that have been looking out for me, watching me make a fool of myself, watching me be afraid and angry when I really didn't need to be. When I started accepting that possibility, I actually started feeling better. And God honest truth, when you boil it all down, it is just simply logical. Okay? Can you prove the existence of a God? Can you prove the existence and confirmation of the Father, or even the story of Jesus? There's many who have presented the case, many philosophers. It's been a subject, and there's many cases to present it that it's all true, even if it's not. Logically, you can live with gratitude or resentment. You can live with fear or with love. And the best way to have love is to believe that you are loved. And if you can believe that there is angels, there's ancestors, there's family, there's other people who love you, who do care to see you succeed, you can overcome the fears. But it takes the will, it takes the intention, and it takes the belief that you can overcome the fears, or that you want to. I've met a lot of people online here making these excuses and defending fears without accepting the other side, right? And Paul, this thought occurred to me. I don't want to press you nor put you on the spot.
I take the 5th. Okay, let's see what you got.
There. I know you can refuse it, but it has to do with my belief in myself, the potential I see available for me, and especially with Paul, with your son. And I believe if he and I could accomplish what I believe can be accomplished, we're going to prove you wrong about the wars.
They've been trying for decades, Jack. For decades.
Brother, this is what I've been saying. For those of you who have subscribed and have been paying attention, I believe we are part of something magical.
Well,
Those who have been making the agendas, the 2030, and rolling out these other things, they don't yet know about me. I'd like to make sure they do know about me, and that I'm here to present some better alternatives that'll prove much more rewarding for everyone involved, rather than just rewarding of a few. I think it can happen, man. Hey, I added a couple of people, and we'll take you off the spot. We'll change the subject, Paul.
well, just to kind of answer to that, not only are they not talking peace, they're talking about ending the world, not just war, the big one. So
I think, yes, I actually feel I have felt a state of urgency for several years. And I had worries. None of us really know. I don't know. Maybe there are some. I don't believe many of us really know our future. Okay. I used to think that, but at this point, I'm pretty sure none of us know our future.
There's only the now, Jack.
I know, but then see the now. Actually, golly geez, something I
The
was
past and
learning
the
about
future is only bridged by the now.
truth. The thought I was considering earlier, one of the benefits I have, if you can see the past clearly, confidently, proudly, if you can see your past proudly with gratitude, not proud of every mistake, but proud of what you've overcome, the adventures, the things you've been through. When you look back at the past with gratitude and pride, and you can see where you're at today, you'll see unlimited potential. Potentially. But it requires honest eyes, humility to facts, and the willingness, the burning desire to change anything will bring a change. Hey, Moose.
Hey, what's going on, brother? I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I appreciate it. And Tommy, welcome to you too, brother. An endeavor to persevere. I extended a couple other invitations. I met a couple of people today, so I invited them.
So, like, you met a couple people out
Jack, you're
there
gonna have to
when you
upgrade
were
your
cruising the
StreamYard. You're gonna
streets?
have to include like more than 10 people.
We'll cross that. What were you saying, Moose?
StreamYard.
So you met a couple people out on the streets today?
Through the phone.
Oh,
So-
okay. Okay.
For those who know my housing situation, right after everything closed, the paperwork was done, my kitchen faucet, it's been wearing out, and so it started dripping the other day. I had to shut off the water. I ran to Lowe's yesterday, was going to get something to replace it, and then I was thinking, well, the house I own is not my own. So
call the landlord.
Yep. So that's what I did. I don't know what their rules are. Maybe they have ideas to change the kitchen. I don't know. And if they're going to offer some handyman support, some labor to throw that in for me, hell yeah, I'll let someone else do it.
You know what that sounds like, Jack?
That sounds like a damn good plan.
No, I think it sounds like you own nothing and you're happy. Is that true?
That's absolutely true. I think that's what God is doing with me. There
No, it's
is
what the WEF is doing with us.
right. This is part of it, though, is that I've really personally, I've learned how to see the good in the bad and the bad in the good. And I've learned how to really be honest in that. And there is some value into the globalist friggin' sick agendas. We
I
can
think
bring
the
the
value
value
is
out
if
of
you were doing that for yourself and not forced by overlords to do it. Like you
well,
have to drop your belongings and be happy. You can't have a
right.
whose dad was a uniform wearing Nazi tell you that you've got to drop your belongings and be happy.
Amen. But see, I think that's what God is doing with me. I keep saying I think there's a lot of messages that will be shared from what I've learned in my personal experience. And I think that's one of them, is that God's using me. And actually, it's not just me. It is not just me. For those of you, anyone listening, if you're dealing with economic insecurity right now, which is probable for most people, I noticed this pattern in several of the pastors I've met and several of the people from churches. I'm pretty sure God is doing that with us right now part of the live without fear message. When you overcome conflicts and debts, when you stop worrying about money and opinions,
You'll
live
be
without
able to fuck with an open gas line with a cigarette lit in your mouth. I get it. That's Mr. Fearpoint himself. It's fucking with a fuel line on his chainsaw with a goddamn cigarette lit in his mouth. He's living without fear.
Yeah.
But he won't own a gun.
It's called bar chain oil, okay? It's not the fuel line. Jesus, but nice try.
Yeah, sorry, that's just what my dad did for a living. I can't see it clearly. I'm looking on a little screen.
Some people insist on learning the hard way, but if you give that up to a greater plan, some people are used as an example for others of what not to do.
Yep. Like Boshene. He's an example of what not to do. Not to be a communist traitor.
That's
Really?
A joke, a joke, a joke, a joke. I'm
Not
not
even
trying to
funny,
claim it.
though, man. I mean, seriously. I mean, I prefer the chinky winky dinky or something. I don't know. I mean, something more stupid would be funnier.
So
Okay,
Jack,
guys.
because What Life popped up in the chat and you were talking about pasts and timelines, it reminds me of a video me and What Life showed up to a live screening of. And for the most part, the video was bullshit. It was like trolley bullshit. But the one thing it pointed out that it made me think was this fake CIA guy was talking about the CIA is aware of all these timelines and the intersection and the possibility to change events. But he said in all aspects, toward the end, it funnels down like a funnel where it gets smaller to only one outcome, that no matter what you could change in time, we get to a point where you lose the ability and only one outcome ultimately comes from it. And it's not as much factual science as it had me thinking days on end over bowls and substances, just mulling that over.
Yeah, that's totally opinion. Jack, you're right.
Jack, I just want to cut in.
man.
If you had like a booing sound, that would have been the time to play it.
Good stuff, man.
What were you gonna say, Paul?
I do have to leave, and I appreciate you bringing me up, and I enjoyed the conversation for today, brother.
Have
Hey.
a great evening, bro.
Thank you,
Amen.
guys. Appreciate it.
Peace
Mr.
be
C,
upon you.
seeing you.
The honor's
you.
mine, and you're always welcome, brother. Have a beautiful day. God bless.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man. Bye bye.
I was trying to remember. Tommy was talking about there's a lot of theoretical ideas out there, and that's one of the things I was considering earlier, is that it's really easy for us to get confused because there's so many details, so many ways to look at things that it's hard to remember. Once you start focusing in one aspect, then you start forgetting the details that are like over there. It's
You
easy
want
to
to know
get
what the funny
confused.
part was about that video?
What's that?
And all of us watching live in the chat together, we were like seeing this, being like, is everyone seeing what I'm seeing? And it was a video of a guy silhouetted anonymously, like he's this CIA guy talking. And the entire time he talks, silhouetted hands are just handing him envelopes from both sides of the screen. And he stuffs it in his inner pocket and just keeps talking. And over time, so many hands hand him so many envelopes. We were all like, what the actual fuck are we watching? But everything he was speaking about had this like this urgent importance to it while this display
None of
happened
it did.
to
None
your
of it.
eyes.
It's just all imagination, man. It's like watching the X-Files or something, right, Jack?
It can be. Hey, I don't know what's going on in chat. Did I invite Z? I did invite Z. I don't know how to get his attention or willingness. So if anyone can offer encouragement to Z to stop by, please do. I saw him and Paul earlier, and I was grateful. It's good to see him out again. And honestly, I think I've learned some of the lessons he's been facing himself. I just learned things differently. And guys, I really do think, not to change the subject again, but I really do think we're part of something big. There's something that's going to emerge from all of this. And it's going to be amazing and beautiful. And I don't know what that means either. What does amazing and beautiful mean compared to this? Because this is
For some
already
people,
amazing.
amazing and beautiful would be the world on fire.
No.
Depends on
Fire
who
is
you are,
good,
Jack.
Jack. It burns dead wood. I
It
hate
does.
the sight. It also has nitrogen. It's good for the soil, and you can grow bigger yields with burnt wood on the soil.
And even when Kali in the Hindu version comes to destroy the earth, it's in the sense of rebirthing what can't grow on top of what she destroys.
It's beautiful, Jack.
Right. Well, this is the thing, too. Back to God. God is the good. God is in everything, everywhere, all times. So can you see the good? Everywhere, in all things, at all times? Because if not,
Can you?
it doesn't mean God is not there. It means that you are pushing yourself from what is.
Can you see the good in destruction, Jack?
Yes. It brings renewal and opportunity for growth. It's all a perfect everything, man. Everything.
Yeah, but what
makes
about
sense.
if you were like the mother of a child and she died in your arms? Like, how could you possibly for that person see the good in that?
Because of the life she's going to realize she didn't have to raise a child in whenever Jack's wonderful, beautiful, earthly fire happens. Like Moose, you may live long enough to see your childbearing very much a weight you have to bear compared to like an 80s nuclear family.
I used to feel that way, Tommy. Honestly, when my son was born, it was just after that 2000 Fiat. Remember the Millennium Scare, whatever, the 2000
Yeah,
bullshit.
Y2K.
Yeah. So it was right shortly after that my wife and I brought our son into the world. Oh, and he was born right after the 9/11 nonsense. So yeah, we questioned that. Why are we bringing another body into this world? And at that
The same
time, I
as the
honestly,
intro to Idiocracy. All the smartest couples know why not to have a child.
hey, I'm one of those people that Paul describes. I was a confused man with a confused woman bringing a kid into the world, and probably wasn't, well, definitely we weren't prepared. We were not. We were a product of our unhealthy pasts.
Is there such a thing as a prepared set of parents? Is there really such a thing though? I
Hey,
I agree with
fair
Eric
enough.
on that.
Fair enough, but admittedly, we failed to do what was available in order to prepare ourselves. But we were young kids without guidance. We did the best we could, and that's what most parents are doing. But the question was about bringing a kid in. I've actually considered the possibility of, should the right woman come in, I'd actually start over again. Another kid. I don't know. Who knows what the future brings?
Y2 to the chat, Y2K was only a joke after we all, in hindsight, saw it went fine. Leading up to it, it was just as catastrophic to the market and computer-based things. The possibilities were as urgent as anything else until that time passed.
Wait,
So,
hold on.
hindsight is
Let's wait. Hold
20/20
on.
the
Let's
chat.
go back to what Jack just said. Jack, not to be rude to you or anything, but you just said that you might bring a child into this world. Say you found a woman, right? And how old are you right now, Jack? Are you 45?
Yeah, I sense no rude to you vibes.
No, the
in this
reason why I'm
question.
asking is because I'm just asking because, think about when that person is going to be 18 years old or
Mhm.
15 or 16, and they're going to want to play ball with you. Are you going to still be young enough to go play ball with them and take them to their sports games and stuff like that? I'm not trying to be rude.
Are you labeling their gender or sports interest before they're even DNA
No.
mixture in a body?
That's totally
Why
off
is
where
ball
you're
games
going.
required?
Hey,
How did
Tommy,
people raise kids
Tommy.
before ball games?
Tommy, that's totally irrelevant to what he was asking, and it's
I think
actually
his
a good
question is
point.
irrelevant.
Well, no, here it actually brings up something interesting. I remember at a high school reunion. I don't remember. We were around 40 years old then, so maybe 10 years ago. And a woman from our class had just had her first kid, and I was like, I was making rude comments thinking like that. You're 40, you're going to be almost 60 by the time the kid graduates. And I was kind of making fun of her, and in hindsight, I was so fucking disrespectful. But
No, but that's not how I meant that at all. I
no,
wasn't
I know it's not. You're asking a valid question. I mean, here I am. I'll be 50 years old this year. Should the right woman come in, and that's the path that we want to consider? Yeah, I would. I feel I have so much more life in me now. My poor kid was when I was raising my son, he was denied a father filled with life. He got to experience a father filled with burdens and worries and expectations of himself.
So now that you've had your spiritual awakening, you're ready to start fresh and actually bring another life into the universe and nurture it and care for it and show it the love that you've always wanted to show it. Then
It's
But
not
Moose, last
something.
week you had
It's
him
not a
pissed
goal.
off enough that he was on that fuck everybody tip. We all deserve what we get.
Yeah, you know what, Tommy? Good point. Moose, at this moment, the idea of bringing more life into the world, it seems like a fascinating idea. But there's other times where, Tommy, you're absolutely right. I'm also looking forward to leaving. I'm kind of, now that I see God's fucking just praise be. All praise to God. I look forward to meeting whoever created this.
amen.
And I don't think it's
Jack.
going to be that soon, though, either.
I can sympathize with the people of the Tower of Babel and why they would build a tower. I never understood it to begin with, but as the years go on, I understand why they would want to build a tower to escape
Please,
to the heavens.
please explain. What are you thinking?
Well, basically, these people, they were probably pretty advanced in their understanding, at least metaphysically, and had some technology. These hypothetical people, of course. And they
You mean these
knew
historically
that
recorded people
there
who
was
built
a simulation in place and that everything is fixed and everything is kind of baked in the cake, could you say, and that there is only a limited amount of experiences that we could have in this life because of our avatars or our human skeleton bones or whatever you want to call it. And they decided, you know what? Let's go to the heavens. Let's see what we can do because we can create things just like God. Right? And God, what had happened, God saw this, oversaw, what do you want to call it, and smite them down. And we all spoke different languages and had different contexts and caused division, in which God taught us a lesson that, yes, you can create, but there's always something in our lives. This when we think we're getting somewhere, something horrible happens and our life is a mess and we're back where we started from. And that,
Yeah.
oh, why can't we do anything? Why can't we? Well, have you fucking tried? If you try, you understand. You start getting somewhere and then something happens that's external and it just fucks you up. And you're just
But it
back to
doesn't.
square one again.
Whether it's
all-
in a religious biblical text or a college Bible as literature text, you have absolutely gutted and raped that entire story, you buffoon.
Hey, we don't need attacks. I want to address and not to change, not to bounce from what you said. I want to come back. But Austin, who told you you're going to meet who created this? Nobody. But what I have heard is I've heard enough people reporting their own near-death experiences. People who have reported their whatever conscious experiences and relayed them. I trust that there is, and through people's reports in their own meditative practices, there is a communication with with the beyond. And I don't claim to know what is in the beyond, but I do claim to have a pretty solid comprehension of what this is. And this being, like Ian was supposedly going to let me share, what is this place? I got a pretty I think I got a pretty good idea of the way things work, but what do you do
I
with
have
what
more
you know?
respect for Ian if he really was just trying to put a cinematic, dramatic spin on these streets, because that's all he seems to do is make like trailers to things that aren't going to happen. If he was just doing that in fun, it would be awesome. But
Well, since we're bringing this up,
what
what I also don't like, but I like what you do, Jack, is you don't make your titles, you don't make them all like sensational, like, oh, this is the most important Jack Talcott video you'll ever see. You must click on it now, like shit like that. And then you click on it, and then it's 7 hours of nothing, So like what you do is like you're honest about it. You're like, hey, this is what we're talking about today. Then open panel,
Thank you, bud. Well, I've been learning from the styles of many others, and you know what? I keep saying this because I do hope it becomes real. I have actually imagined ways to connect the talents, the production and creativity of Ian, along with Paul and the flair of Z. We could bring all of this together, man, and fucking create something cool. And then I know there's people like Eric who's got talent and background in marketing and stuff like that. There's Jeffrey's got talent and background in, you know, however he does it, he's got connections. There's a lot of connections to a lot of connected people, but nobody's really paying attention to how to use the connections other than fucking competition.
It's true, because Jeffrey is the only one out of the whole group that might give somebody a handy for us. So we got to use our connections.
Hey, Jeffrey and I, we resonate on the idea of ending wars. He's not yet convinced on, I don't know how he doesn't see the connection between currency and war, but
Well, when you don't
eventually,
have any currency, you don't really, relate, Jack. And now that you have a little currency in your pocket, you're riding high, he's riding low. I have no room to talk. I ain't got none either.
but dude, that's what's so funny too. Nothing has changed for me. So what? I got a little cash in my pocket now. It doesn't change anything.
But you're still you, and that's what makes it so amazing. You didn't change just because you got a little money in your pocket. Like, you didn't turn into a total jerk. Like, you're still just down to earth, rolling with the street kids.
Thanks, brother. But so what do you suggest? I'm asking the wrong crowd. I don't know. No, I'm asking anyone. What do you suggest? What do we do? How do we take this to the next step, to the next level, and what?
I think you need to grow this place right here. That's your main focus. You grow as big as you possibly can, because you can reach the most viewers from here. That right there will open the doors for you to get in with the people that you want to talk to, and from there you get into the other people you want to talk to, and from there and there. Does that make sense?
You obviously you want to build somebody you have an ideological political affiliation with, and you just don't want to connect with anybody.
Describing climbing the high school hierarchy of popularity as well.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I feel I'm at.
And I have the wrong ideas, so I'm probably not the best person to help you with that.
Stop believing that, and you'll see the right ideas right there.
Yeah, but I have a different idea of how society should be. So obviously, like, I agree with you on like the principles of peace, but I think that's where we diverge.
Why do you separate us? What's the separation?
The separation is, I guess, religious or a political affiliation.
Oh,
whether you're aware of it or not. Yeah.
No, Vance. That's
I see it. No, I'm not offended. I'm just saying, like, I've played this game, right? Yeah.
No, John, I know you're not offended, but you're placing what you're doing onto me. You're the one who's based on the limited experience and I have a vague foundation on this, but I believe that you associate yourself with the political and the religious foundations, not me.
Basically, John, what you're doing is you're blocking your blessings from Jack by.
Oh, maybe.
By doing that.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Yeah.
I feel like there's like an energetic flow that has to like continue to go between you guys, and to get through this, I think you might have to drop your religion and your beliefs.
Are you saying that's John in the corner? That's John in the spotlight, and John should lose his religion?
for Jack Talcott, for the ways of Jack Talcott.
Wait, please don't.
It's not just for
the
the ways of Jack Talcott. It's for the
Thank-
blessings between the two men, John
Yes.
Vance, Jack
Well-
Talcott.
Thank you guys. Yes, Moose, you're spot on, and John, it kind of is, but it's not just for Jack Talcott or even just the blessings between John and Jack. It's because the goal in the future is world peace. Okay, so if John can let go of his religion and political association to resonate with what's possible here, holy shit, man, you've got connections too. You've been active.
Yeah, but I got the
Yeah,
wrong
but-
connections though.
Yeah,
I got
he
all
might
the
be part of
religious
the
and political
Brotherhood. They might not
connections.
like us very much.
No,
But here,
that's what
John,
I say. Like what I just say, like what I have to offer would be deplatformed at the UN. So I'm probably not your
John,
best
then
asset. So
change. This is the point. Change what's available.
Come on his
for-
side. Come on
for
his
the
stream
offer.
yard.
Who? What? Hey, Paul. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on over.
Hey, what's up, Pop Pop? Are you mad at me or something? Kept me in the back room for like an hour and a half.
Hey,
Well,
let's. Hey,
You're an agent of
Moose,
slavery. That's fine.
hold on, Paul. Thank you for joining. I was hoping to interact with you as well today, but please, John, Tommy, Eric, Moose, we're not going to engage and just deteriorate into chaos, and we're not going to create assaults either. Okay.
No, we're moving forward. Remember,
Amen.
I'm
yeah,
not
we're
going
trying to
about
move
that.
forward. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, I've been on great terms for the last
Good.
couple days.
I'm glad. I haven't been paying close attention to anybody but myself.
Talcott, you hear this
No
guy? He's
name
like,
calling.
he's like one of the children at school. He's like, hey, I've been good for the last 2 days. He's just waiting to go back to mischief. You could hear his voice.
No, it's not even like that. See,
No,
see,
He's actually, in Moose's defense, he's coming up today as a new man, and I'm allowing him to bring new energies. We're having fun today. Hey, your audio when you first started sucked.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on with it.
You're chopping a bit. I don't know, your Bluetooth
Oh, man.
whatever. What's up, OTW?
There we go.
OTW in the house. What's up, brother man?
That's
It's
better.
not good, Paul. Say something now. See where we're at.
Hello?
I think it's better.
It's
No, he just,
it was all right, but it still has some kind of like
Might have to restart
Yeah.
his phone or computer.
I don't know. OTW, welcome, brother.
Hello, everybody. Much
Hey, am I
respect.
good now?
Yeah, you
I
sound
think
great.
that's much better.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. Hey, excuse me. Welcome, OTW. Welcome, everybody. And Paul, I mentioned your name. I promoted your show was going on earlier, but I haven't been paying much attention. I saw Z was there. You still going, or did you take a break?
Yeah, no, I'm still going. He's coming over here to grace you with his presence.
Serious? Oh, I hope so. I was hoping to talk to him.
Yeah, Paul was the one who encouraged us to come over here and support you.
Hey, appreciate it. I think this might be.
I just want to point out next that you can't say he hasn't done anything for you because look, 3 of the hottest people just came through.
Listen, okay, pal, you don't need to tell Jack Talcott what the fuck I do for him and he does for me. We know all that. The question is, what the fuck are you doing for Jack Talcott and the rest?
We're not doing a
Whoa.
CS right now. We all just
I've
said
been
we're not doing
putting
a
it down today. I've been putting some good stuff out there today.
All right, well, I'll believe it when I
So.
see it. I haven't been listening.
Well, let's start from the beginning then.
Hey, greetings.
It's not a new thing though.
I want to properly Z. This might be the first time you've been here. I might be mistaken as well, but welcome, brother. I'm glad to see your return.
It's good to see you, Jack.
Likewise.
Very good to see you.
Um,
Jack, I was just telling Paul not long ago that you know, you've gotten out of my imagination and into my heart somewhat. I do feel somewhat endeared to you, Jack, and I don't know, maybe I'm just going through some kind of psychosis, or I don't know what it is, but you know, much love, brother.
Thank you. I suspect what you were saying is probably true. I've been saying this, and actually that's what I was kind of talking about earlier, is that we're going through this time in human history. It's no joke. There is a lot of growth, a lot of challenges, a lot of people individually and collectively going through some shit. So I saw you going through some shit, and I saw you creating some shit, Z. But I want to encourage you, brother. Okay? You've got a talent and a gift that I think can be captured, and I think you might be able to replace your methods of income pretty quickly. Hopefully, quicker than you've considered.
Are you asking him to be your houseboy, Talcott? I know you came into a bunch of money recently, and I don't know if he's open to that. Like the
Well, I
Filipino
mean,
tour that you had there one
you have a
time.
pool. I do clean pools. I've done that before. You know, I've been a pool boy, Jack. You know, I could be your Kato Kalin. I don't know if you have a pool house. You know, I could. That reference probably only maybe 10 people just understood what that Kato Kalin.
Dr. Pool Boy.
Right, he's going to bump his head into your air conditioner, fleeing the scene. That's what he means by that.
You know, Talcott house in effect. Could you imagine if everybody gets in that house of his and we just film to get Illumitami down there and Moose?
Brian O'Shea, Z.
Z, I
Get
appreciate
Pop
any
Pop in the
reference
house.
that for just a
Oh,
tiny
man.
moment takes me more than 3 years ago. Like for that second when you made the Cato reference, I get to be more than 3 years ago. And
What is this bit? This is the new Tommy, reformed Tommy, who's all quiet and boring in a different way. Usually he's boring in an insane way. Now he's boring in a like lackluster. You know,
You're
no
just
energy.
showing
I
your
was
lack
just
of
about to
attention
say that. I mean,
outside of your own channel.
I didn't
He's
even
spending
realize
too
that I
much
was on
time
the
with
same
Ian
panel
over
as
there. He's
Tommy.
starting to pick up that
I've
affluence.
that's the only channel I've given completely up on is Ian's, because I found out that's why. I found out that
the
Ian's
only
channel,
one he
Why
gave
didn't
up.
you
I tried
on
to
my
tell you.
channel?
I know yous are all my mortal enemies. That's fine, but I told you stay away from the bitches and hoes, and you went on Laguna. You
I've
went over
never
here.
claimed to be your mortal enemy. I've only claimed to be the enemy you claimed I was.
Oh, I never made an enemy out of you. I just don't like you, and I'm free to not like you. Why is it you want to force me to like everybody in this realm?
But see, if
Folks who
I
are
say that about
majorly
you,
unlikable.
if I
Already
say that
there.
simple, if I make that statement about you, I'm trying to end careers and destroy channels, and even Moose can't be convinced.
No, you don't have the
I haven't
ability to end
flagged any of
careers
his
and
videos.
destroy channels. You've destroyed your life, okay? You've tried hard to destroy your life, and you've pretty much succeeded at that. But you don't
So
have an ability to.
whenever you want to lay out that timeline for me, I'd love to hear it for a good laugh.
Please, let's get back to something important, like me and Jack. I mean, you are a non-issue, right?
Well, then why have you made me an issue right now?
I just wanted to know what this whole bit was.
Jack,
Like you.
This is
Well, one
spiraling
bit
out of
that you
control. It's
showed me
turning
where
into
I
a
was
Tommy
from,
show
Paul.
again.
I know.
You might have to
I
get
was
rid of
trying
Tommy,
to figure
brother.
out why
Why
every
is my
channel
name
I
in
go
your?
to,
Why is my name
someone
on your
was telling
bottom?
me to do jumping jacks and
Hey,
push-ups and shit.
hey,
I
you
found
have
out,
my-
that's Ian's
hey.
channel doing that shit.
Right, great. You have my name on your bottom there. Why is my name on your bottom?
Well, bottom as in the little title thing. It's never been written on my
It's
physical
called the
bottom.
headline, guys.
No, no, no. I meant, but yeah, the bottom area there. See, there you go, being fresh and disturbing all of
Good
our
stuff,
audience.
Great
So he says you have props to give me. So my name is on your mind again. What would that be? Can I have my
Yeah, you
props,
did the-
please?
You did this happy accident that gave me like the true start of a horror movie experience. And I know it was just a happy accident or you would have rolled with it for like days. But the other day I was watching Jack's channel and he was alone on screen, and the screen that popped in as his guest, it had your titles of like Unslaved One, Your Daddy, and the picture was just a beady-eyed John Vance, like staring forward. And when Jack went to greet you, the guest feedbacked immediately what Jack said, like it was a horror movie call from inside the house. He was like, "Oh, hello, Paul," and I was like, "Hello, Paul." And then Jack got this look on his face, like, "What's going on here?" And I was on the edge of my seat, man. I did that forced swallow when you're like, "Is this Zoom call history about to unfold here?" Like there was going to be an imposter Paul. That
Well, you
fucking with Jack.
perfected the forced swallow.
Delusional.
Excuse me,
And it
sir,
was just you, Paul. It was just some kind of
Ken, he
technical
rolls
issue.
right
You worked it
over
out.
me.
You
I'm
said,
giving the
"Hello,
comedy
Jack, it's
gold,
me," and
the
it
guy
went
rolls
on.
right over.
But in that
Hold up.
moment, I didn't know if Jack had developed a stalker, if something was. It was great, Paul. It was that stuff we all wait for that we can't
That's it.
create.
You did all
and
that
you
just
did
to
that.
get to that. This is what I mean. You're a horrible broadcaster. You just took 5 minutes to lay out a non
But that was
sequitur.
your
not
fault, Paul.
a
I mean,
broadcaster.
I still have no clue what
I
he
am
said
Twitch,
after
man.
all
a
that.
viewer that
I have
participates.
zero fucking
and
clue
you
what he
don't
was
get
talking about.
the relativity.
Horrible.
Do we ever know what he's fucking talking about?
No. He doesn't get it. Doesn't matter how loud or low he gets. He's unintelligible.
I
It's all the crap he
already
smoked.
got what he was saying. It was a lot of time explained, reminding of something that happened in the past, and I'm not sure where it was going.
I just heard about
But-
John Vance, thumbnail,
Yes.
beady eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
know.
it doesn't matter. Tommy and Paul, thank you. Z.
Jack, this might be the most fucked up panel ever assembled on YouTube history. Now I'm looking at the people here.
It's in the running.
Oh,
It's in the running.
no, this is gold, dude.
This is history in the
I've been
making.
following Paul's lead, and you know what? There has been some broadcasting history that people haven't quite recognized yet, but it's there, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the future, guys. Seriously.
There is one thing I'll admit I'm confused about.
Tommy, you know
I
how
don't-
they say there's
I
a
don't-
diamond in the rough? Well, you're
Hey,
like a
Moose.
rough in the diamonds.
Moose, why don't you show Paul our one-on-one that you won't post to your channel and shut the
Tommy,
fuck up? Now,
why
the
don't
thing
you
I'm
explain to us
confused
what
about
you are
is
not
how
confused about?
OTW has only 5 days left to somehow become better than the wretched person I've known him as all his YouTube existence. You're running out of days in that 30 days, OTW. I don't see much better. I see you lifting in front of a
Tom.
zero audience a
Okay,
little bit.
Tom.
That's not
Tom.
self-improvement.
Tom,
Yeah, you
please
just
stop.
did it again, Tom. You just because you just showed you don't get what this is about. It wasn't about the audience. It's about him focusing on himself and creating habits for himself that lead himself for success for himself.
Still
The fact
failure.
that you
Thank you, Paul.
Still failing.
would not do that and be that shows that you are not that. So he
Oh,
will
so
be
you're forgetting when I
successful for-
came to your channel to contribute to the.
So Tommy. Oh, so we cut him off. So we're just gonna.
Well,
we should stop. Just drop it?
OTW was gonna. Yeah, can we?
Yeah, okay.
Do we need? What do you think? I prefer.
The point is, I tuned in morning. Thank you, OTW.
Wait, hold on.
The title was-
He replaced Illumitami with Chuck from Tennessee, of all people. That's who you brought in. Was
Well,
Chuck
it's
from
important to
Tennessee.
have a certain number of
Unbelievable. Okay.
right. What you're going to find is all the rat-like Voldemort creatures are going to start collecting. So one leaves, one comes back, right?
Seems like it. Yo, Chuck, I banned you from my channel, just so you know that. I want you to know that.
I don't
Chuck.
give a damn, you loser.
Oh, really? Then why were you
Well-
there? Why were you at my channel all the time if you don't care if I fucking ban
I
you?
wasn't at
Why
your
did I have
channel all
to-
the time.
Well, then why did I have
I
to
gave
ban
up.
you then?
I gave up on you when you got fucking stupid.
Oh, when I got
Hey.
dumped, then why did I have to ban you, Chuck?
I
You
don't know
didn't.
why you banned me.
Chose
All right,
to.
were you
Because
not on my
you're a
channel on my
deacon.
last
Hey, Jack.
stream?
Jack,
Right.
Jack,
Yep.
hey, Jack. You
Yes,
said
brother.
you wasn't going to let the show dissolve into this.
Okay,
And you
so
let
what
him
is
come
your
over
point?
here, and it has.
Okay, is that what you came
You're
up to do?
completely. No, it's
Is that-
complete. He's the one that started attacking
Okay,
me.
so did you come up to complain, or to improve?
No, I was asking a question.
No, I just
If you were
found
gonna
it
keep it
funny,
on
Chuck, that
topic.
you popped up as
Hey.
soon as I came on after you were on my channel giving him bigoted, hate-filled comments that I had to block you for, Chuck.
I didn't give bigoted, hate-filled comments.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't.
Why?
That doesn't sound like Chuck. Actually, bigoted
No,
and hateful.
Okay.
All
well,
I-
maybe
all
he
I
can explain
said
his
was-
comments then.
All I said was you had no business discussing the adult material you were discussing with a minor in the room.
Okay,
was all
Chuck.
I said.
Right.
Okay,
Because
you
your
what.
show is the one
Chuck.
that discovered that he was underage.
Chuck. Okay, let's pause. The issue of whether you're welcome on Z's channel or not, to me, I'd prefer
I don't
you
care
guys.
about Z's
Okay,
channel.
so right.
So what
right.
happens when your slave children go
change
out
it.
on a cruise ship or somewhere and they hear me talking about jerking off, and I don't know they're behind me, right? And I really don't even care because I'm going to speak freely and I'm not causing harm. So what happens when we're out in the public, wherever we are, and someone's got their slave child there and they hear me saying something that's adult related? Should something be done to me at that point?
Well, if they're any kind of person, they might say something to you.
Right,
ask
so
you,
say
Chuck.
something and then move on with it. And then guess what I'm going to say? Mind your own fucking business. This is America. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want to say. And you better keep your children locked up forever if you want to avoid them being experienced in the world. Because it ain't going to
Well,
happen.
here comes the
There's
angry
no
cunt
reason.
again.
Well,
Can
wait,
we-
The
all
angry
right,
cunt?
can we-
No,
all right,
you're not
can
even
we-
on
let's
camera. You're a
change-
coward, Chuck. Come on camera and look us in the
Hold
face.
on,
and
Jack.
tell us
Hold
That's
on.
what your
because
personality
I don't have
disorder is.
my broadband
You
isn't
came
big
up
enough.
here for a reason, Chuck.
Right,
came
so
up here
I'm
for-
the angry cunt, but you came up here to bitch and complain and tell Jack how to be Jack better than Jack.
No, I'm not
Taylor
bitching
make
and
it to a
complaining.
loser like you. That'll get him far. To listen to
Oh
you,
yeah,
and
keep
folks like
on screaming.
who
Come
want
on,
the
monkey
world
man,
to
give it a
revolve around
break.
you while you do
Blah
nothing.
blah blah
Okay,
blah
please,
blah.
Chuck,
let's-
Chuck,
That's
I'd like
the
to
extent
add.
to
Hold
your
on,
intellect.
Jack.
You're a very low intellect, Chuck. It's obvious just
Paul.
looking at you. You have
Oh
dull-
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
Jack, you
yeah,
let
yeah,
people
yeah.
up on the panel.
You
You gotta let
dope
people talk.
smoking fiend, tell
I'm
me
not being a dope
all
smoking
about it.
pig, but I ain't got
what
no
do I need to
boring
do?
eyes
What do
and an
I-
inability to communicate effectively.
Okay, please stop. Holy
I would
cow.
like to point out, Jack, I'm not trying to cause problems, but this is what happens when people are trying to trick you out of your position. They come up, they try to tell you what's what, they try to get in your head. Don't do it, man.
When
Don't be
he's
like
already
me.
on record for weeks and months just being a hater. You can't stop watching me and hating in the chat like they all
Right.
do.
Let me ask this to Chuck, if he's still backstage. Is that
Good
Chuck, do you not
stuff.
know that YouTube is an open platform, that I can't stop anybody from watching my show, whether they're on the panel or not? If they want to consume the content, that's on them, and that's on the platform of YouTube. All right, my content is sent for over 18. Whatever YouTube does after that is on them. All right, now I'm not going to change my show based on the idea that an under a quote unquote, as you say, underage minor is watching my content. That's not on me. Now, if the young man wants to present himself on panel, he's obviously watching the material. Why should I discriminate why should I discriminate him from sharing his voice? Okay? So it's not my fault if he's at my channel, dude. That's not on me, Chuck. So I'm going to talk about what I talk about, just like he could be here listening to Jack. Should Jack change his content based off the assumption that what you say is an underage, quote unquote, child may be here? It's absurd on its face,
Yeah,
Chuck.
Chuck will be the same one to
Hold
send
on.
his kid in front of the Dalai
Hold on.
Lama to get his tongue sucked. Right?
Dude, that was twisted. Hey,
Dude, that is
Hey.
disgusting, man.
well, God is using people to show people what people are like. Okay? Think about that.
Yeah.
Profound. That was really
And some of
profound.
us are completely open and transparent, authentic, and learning from life. Others are pretending to be sophisticated and civilized, while they're probably some of the darkest, lowliest, hateful scum out there. Ask
Well,
Dave and Chuck and
here.
all the rest of them.
Please.
Jack, let Chuck talk. Don't silence Chuck.
Yeah, let him
him up.
convict
Well,
himself, Jack. You know the game.
he-
Bring him up and let him convict himself.
I brought him back, and when he appeared, he disappeared on his own. That was not
Okay.
me.
Fair
Okay, so the other side of this, though, okay, I understand freedom of speech, and I understand standing on what you believe to be true and principled and right, but there is also something to be said about trying to be respectful for the youth, for the fairer gender, to generalize, whatever, for the more sensitive. There is something to be said for the time and place. And I'm not saying that on your own channel, in your own platform, is not the time or place. That is yours. That's your place to do what you do. I'm just suggesting, look, we can all grow, we can all improve, and we can all do better.
Well, Jack, let's look at this archetypally, okay? Let's take away the legalese and let's look at this archetypally. If we're all around the fire, right? I don't know, we're Vikings. Let's just paint a picture for ourselves. And it's all of us right here. It's Eric, the Chai Com, John Vance, everybody. We're all around the fire, okay? And one of the younger men comes up, okay? And they're around the fire, right? They have to have an entree into reality, into the conversation, right? Now, if they choose to step up, if they have nobody pulling them back and they are of sound body and mind to step up into that conversation, is it not of everybody's benefit to allow that open discourse to take place? Why are we painting ourselves in such a mental corner? Why are we playing the game of the system? It just seems funny that we have so many people around these communities. They want to use the ideals of the system when it's convenient for them to do so, especially when it's to attack somebody that they want to go against.
And Mr. Warrior, and Chuck can't figure out that one of the biggest problems in our society is that folks have been lying to us and breaking our trust and leaving out a big part of the story all our life. We've never been able to make an informed decision on anything. Whether it's playing with your ding-ding, what's a man and a woman, what sex, they don't tell you. Maybe you all had different upbringing, but I got folks that are fucking for money who won't talk to their children about actual love and relationships and sexuality because they're twisted.
Paul, can I add to that? Like when Paul brought up the scenario, like he's out and about and he's having his conversation and there's somebody behind him. Okay, I agree 100%. Again, I'm not taking sides, but I might say there might be a problem if Paul's like, oh, there's a Muslim couple behind me or whatever, just take your pick, and I'm just going to want to trigger them. Like, so if he has some malintent, that might be a different story. But you're going along, we're just having your conversation, no problem. And what if I'm speaking another language and somebody doesn't understand it and just hears a word that sounds like a bad word in language, and then you want to get triggered? I mean, it happens all the time in this world. It's, again, the intent. I think there might be a problem if Paul, I just want to trigger this family here because I don't like them because of their background. And then the other thing is, go look at the records. Not long ago, age of consent, even in America, used to be 14, 15. So, we got this thing called government telling us what's a adult. I mean, I don't know.
Hey,
I'm just asking the question.
Well, Eric, I also brought this up. I mean, look at most of the civilizations throughout history and that still exist today outside of a government construct. Look at the idea of a bar mitzvah in the Jewish culture. Look at the confirmation ritual in the Catholic culture. Look at the Spanish culture in the Kitchenera, okay? Just because some legal structure puts arbitrary numbers on things doesn't change the reality of human history, human civilization, and human interaction. It all depends on how you look at it.
Hey, true. I want to bring the conversation back to something else you said, though, Z. All these traditions and all of this, you're right. We've lost sight of the reason behind it. A lot of people in culture still go through these traditions. They celebrate, but the fact is that message of a transition being relayed to the child? I'd say no, that's not, because if the true children were truly taught that transition into adulthood, we wouldn't be coexisting in slavery today. So we've lost sight of what is right? Well, the other thing you brought up is the criticism that people use the systems when it's convenient for them. Here's the other side of that. People use the systems as their fucking excuses. Okay, that's why there's so many arguments between families about politics, economics, and religions, because those belief structures become our excuses.
Well, I think they become the our moniker. I'm speaking generally. I'm not talking about the people here, but generally speaking, they become our moniker. They wear it on their sleeve, and it's a hill they want to die on, just because that's how powerful freaking mind control is, man. People come up with this set of this belief system, and they want to go and kill their fellow, screw neighbors, their family.
Hey, Eric, yes, but I want to shift what you just said. The topic that I'm really, really trying to get people to really, you know what, that I found super helpful for me. Bring God into the equation, because what this shows, it shows how powerful this mind control is. And what is the mind? The mind is a power for us. It's a tool that our Creator gave us. That's the power of God, showing how easily humans can be deceived, showing how evil humans can become. It's the power of God, man. What do? This is where my bright idea is, Z. Okay? Listening to you and your challenges and your plans, and I admire and understand and I encourage your ethics. Okay? You're willing to do whatever it takes to do whatever it takes, but I want you to please, I've envisioned ways and possibilities. I don't know exactly how, but I think if we could find a way to bring Z, Paul, me, even the talents of OTW and Ian into the equation, I think we could co-create something pretty fucking powerful.
Well, here's the thing, Jack. I hear what you're saying, but I'll use your own words. If we get out of our egos, okay, and look at the situation, maybe we don't have control over the outcome. Maybe the outcome's going to be what it is. Maybe this is the process. Maybe this is what it needs to be. Maybe we're already affecting people in ways that we don't even know and can't conjecture. Why does it have to be something that we're binding ourselves to?
That's kind of. I sort of agree. Again, I just ask questions, man. I'm just a dumbass. People misinterpret. Oh, Jack, don't roll your eyes. I'm just saying I'm a God.
Look, you don't have to explain yourself, Boshane. Just ask the damn question.
I'll explain
He's finally being honest nowadays when saying he's a dumbass. Go ahead, Jack. I didn't mean to.
I'll explain my eye roll because I want you to consider it, Eric. I mentioned it in text. When you ask these questions, often it's just because of something you fucking thought of. It has nothing to do with what's being discussed, and it's a question you don't even think to try and answer for yourself.
It was attached to what Z just said, but now you disrupted it, so I yield on that.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, Eric, but please ask yourself
something that was related to what.
Look, your little girl fight isn't cute, okay, Boshane? Take that shit somewhere else.
Stop! Don't. Okay.
Girlfriend. What the fuck's Moose talking about?
I said girl fight. Girl fight. He's having a little bitch.
He's having a hot girl summer. He's
we're growing, and we're learning how to communicate with each other. Okay.
Jack, have you come to the understanding that I'm coming to is that the more this thing progresses, they're going to want to kill us, Jack. You realize that, right? They're going to want to kill you.
Oh,
and
that's
me.
Already happening, sir. I don't know why you're not giving credit.
I'm asking Jack if he's aware of it. Jack, are you embodying like this idea that this is not without consequence, Jack? This endeavor that we're on. So you want to go a certain place with me and Ian and Paul and OTW and the rest, but are we all willing to take that fucking walk together? Because I'm not sure If that's a walk that even anybody is meant to
I
take
am.
with anybody else, it might be a single file line, Jack. I'm not sure.
Well,
I
that's
think
kind of what I'm,
Paul's
Come
ready.
on, it would
I
be
know
like in
I
the
am.
Wizard of Oz. You know, we all be holding hands, skipping on to the yellow brick road all the way up to
Well, here,
fucking
guys,
the Emerald
Yeah,
Castle.
we just have to follow Jack's way. That's all we have to do. We have to follow Jack's way. We'll
No,
be
but
all
Jack,
be
you
holding hand in
understand what
hand.
I'm saying, right, Jack? You obviously know what I'm
I-
saying, right, dude?
I do.
May I ask a question?
I do.
Because it just goes on what Z said. I mean, and like, again, I'm not a big scripture, like, oh, scripture's the end all be all. But there's a concept to be set apart. And then another thing about, be known by his first fruit. When I take these statements, it kind of tells me that it's not about any form of collectivism. Like, people are just set apart to some degree, maybe 80% set apart, 100%, 10%. I don't know, Jack. That's all I'm saying is,
Well, Eric.
I like to be set apart.
Okay, Eric.
Yeah.
Eric. Once again, while the words are fresh in your mind,
angry, Jack.
You made the claim it was connected to what Z said. Prove that what you said is connected to what Z said, because I see no fucking connection.
Really?
Yes, Z asked me a question, and you came in with this. I have a question, and it's related to Z's.
I called
Bullshit.
this shit.
You're a
I
liar.
was trying to tell you.
This guy's like got his own agenda everywhere he goes. He's got like a list of things he wants to get to.
It's
Because
not
he can only get
intentional.
5 people watching
Jack,
him
do you
at
have an
any
agenda?
time, so he's got to come over here.
I do
Right.
have an
I don't even do
agenda.
a channel mode. What are you talking about, Chant? What are you talking about?
Hey,
Bro, I could talk about scratching
Moose.
my ass and have
Moose.
20 people.
Moose, please stop. Eric, please
Shit.
stop.
Sorry.
See the
Eric.
association. Maybe you have a communication problem. I'll yield. I'll just
Eric.
listen.
Okay, Eric, I didn't mean to put you on the spotlight, but I have been trying to get you to look at yourself, and this is a beautiful opportunity to do so.
Well,
It's
maybe I want you
recorded. You're welcome to go back and see it.
Get you to look at yourself. How about that? See, it's a two-way street.
Yep, it surely is.
Boom. I saw that coming. So watch when Jack does the eye and he looks in and then you already know someone's about to get hit. Dig a hole.
Fucking hammer.
Firing
Straight
squad.
hammered him.
Line them up.
I'm already being criticized about kicking people who choose to disagree with me. But
Come on,
You know-
dude. That wasn't disagreeing. That was just
Just-
total derailment.
Just
Thank
own
you.
it. Own it,
Well-
Jack. If they're gonna call you something, just own it sometimes, Fuck it.
I do. And John asked if I have an agenda. I admitted, yes, I have an agenda. I have an agenda for our time. There's a purpose for us being here. I'd like to figure out what it is rather than explore the imaginations of the confused. God bless
Jack-
you, Eric. I love you, but man, there's a time
Jack,
and place
don't you
for
feel
chaos.
like your ideology could possibly turn violent because you obviously, anybody who has any slight opposition, even just a slight good faith criticism, you tend to want to bring up the firing squad in the metaverse and kick them out. Don't
Hey,
you think
John.
like this has happened throughout
John.
history with
Hey, John.
communists?
First of
Yeah.
all, yes, I'm interrupting you because you've already created a false narrative. Okay, you presented
Oh, I'm
that
sorry.
it's always this way, and so you're already starting wrong foot. So
But I mean,
yeah,
it's
back
almost
to-
like it's a
hey, your
tiptoe of
question.
totalitarianism, is it not?
Don't you think
Right.
there's more room in the back for other defectors who
I'm-
want to keep?
I'm
Probably.
actually,
I'm getting
actually
there.
very
I'm getting there.
close. Yes,
Be
you
nice.
are. So please, your question actually comes back to what Z was asking. How prepared am I to face the opposition? Honestly, Z, I went through the delusions. I lost my mind. I was prepared to murder myself a couple of times. Okay? Because I was so frustrated that I couldn't get anyone to understand me. I felt like such a failure. And on top of that, I thought, what if I do succeed? I mean, earlier we were talking about my growth and how the old speeches from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., how he was a huge inspiration for me. And if you look at his end, You look at the end of Jesus, you look at the end of many other people in the workers' movement, those who tried to organize and improve the conditions for labor in America, they were murdered, you know? So yeah, I recognized if I come out here publicly, I thought I was going to succeed, Z. I thought I was going to succeed a long time ago, and I honestly thought that was the reason my family and everyone was removed from me. I thought God was keeping them safe so that I could succeed. And if people did come after me, well, then they were already publicly out of my life. So today we're here. And I'm excited, brother.
You know, I think that there's a direct correlation with how we're behaving that gets us the results with these people, places, and things. But there's a destiny and a path that we're on that could get us different results if we tune into that and embody that. Right. So there's a reason why we drive everyone away from us. There's a reason on both sides, right? Confusion on both sides, as you like to say. The more we get less confused and we understand what we're talking about and how we're living and what our next right thing to do is, the less opportunity there is for them to be confused. They just go from my father to being confused to respecting me and not quite understanding why I do what I do. It's not his cup of tea, but now he knows on some level it's true. He knows it's right. He knows he's a punk ass coward, and everything else is just his growth and journey and confusion to show up the same way I did. Right. So we come into this the same way with the same set of circumstances. We interpret differently. We communicate differently. There's a gap in communication, and then we come back around to ourselves, and then it's on their end now. And the thing is, you have to discern where you're at on that journey. We always think we're where we need to be and we're saying the right things and we're not getting the right responses. When we say the right things and we notice the responses change from the people, places, the things, we're in the groove now to some degree, right? And that's the key. We don't always know when we're right or wrong, quote unquote, right or wrong in the way we're presenting and what we're saying and if it's resonating or not. That's why the feedback can be a good thing, right? The constructive criticism and the feedback can be good from folks who you trust and respect. Not from a fool. I'm not going to go to my friends and family that I have and ask them, but you can't come to somewhere like me and say, fuck you, I don't want to hear you, because you know that I got it on some level. I can see it and I can talk about it and I'm living it, right? So that's why you create a support system. You recreate a support system that you respect and trust to give you the honest feedback, so you're not surrounded by yes men and or people who constantly tell you you're fucking crazy and insane and invalidate everything you do, right?
No arguments except I mean, when you're describing that, Paul, a lot of what you were describing was me, my growth and the things I was learning. You just confirming the same stuff. But there does come a time, number one, you do need to learn. We all, not you, we all need to learn to listen to the foolish, to listen to the children, to listen to the facts. Because if we prejudge people, we miss out. We miss out on opportunities. We underestimate ourselves. We underestimate each other because of the past limits we've experienced.
Right, but I don't say that I don't make somebody irredeemable in my mind, and I don't not see their potential. Most of the time, I see more potential in somebody than they see in themselves. That's what makes them the fool, right? Is I was a fool most of my life because I thought everybody was better and smarter than me. No. They just had their act together. They had an act together, right? Acting like they had it all together for everybody else to go along to get along. So the more you stand out with folks who have their act together, the more they label you crazy. The problem is when you go to talk and to defend yourself or to plead your case, you don't wind up helping it, right? And that's where we become our own worst enemy. And that's what I see with you. They're labeling you for having the same journey as me and others in the Christed being, because when you go to talk, you're not helping your own case. You put them in more confusion. They go, what is this? Who is this? Why is he doing all this? He must be doing this for XYZ reasons. And then they project onto you. Like the other day, I could have told you what the result of them conventions were going to be. I didn't even get into it. I said, Jack's going to need to do his walk and his journey and realize these people, A, don't care, and B, they do not have a communication style that lends to how you are. They don't want to listen to you for many reasons in their mind.
They will, though. They will.
They
As
will
soon as
when
someone-
you become something worthy to them of listening to.
Oh.
Not to me. I'm listening.
Right. I already think I am worthy of listening to. and
I
as
know
soon as
you
someone-
think
Yeah,
that,
but
and I
they
think
have to think that too, is what he's
I'm
saying.
saying they
Right.
have to
Someone
think
ought to try telling them besides me. But
Well, we got to get one of them
Whatever.
here on the panel.
telling them's not going to change it. You know what? You know the only telling them that's going to change it when their daddy tells them, whoever their boss
actually,
is.
you know what'll change it? When they fucking stop to listen instead of avoiding me. That's
Good
what'll
luck.
change it.
Good luck.
You can't
Well,
force them, though.
My
That's
father and others
what do
have
you-
been avoiding me and their true selves their whole life, and you think you're going to get them
Paul,
to change?
you've been
Good
avoiding
luck.
some truth yourself, my brother. You
Maybe
have.
I am. I don't perceive it. You could point it out to me. I'm open to have it pointed out, but you know, whether or not I'm embodying completely certain aspects of truth doesn't mean I'm avoiding them. I see them, I understand them, and then I'm real with myself on what level I'm applying it.
Paul, I witnessed what I thought was pretty clear in the short time you and your dad exchanged up here. What I saw was two grown men, very intelligent, very stubborn, very caring, who were enabling each other's disagreements. They weren't
Right.
enabling the behavior, they were enabling the disagreements.
Right, but there's a reason for the disagreement. Again,
No, there's
it's
not.
Yeah, I'm telling
Is
you,
the
there is.
reason, well, Paul, of course, there's a reason for the disagreement. But is the disagreement worth a relationship? The opportunity to have time and
Yes.
care with someone who loves
Yes, it
you?
is to me.
Oh,
I don't live in
encourage
guilt
you to
and regret.
evaluate.
I don't live in guilt and regret. My conscience is
I'm
clean.
not saying that. Right. So rise
I tell
above
this
the
being like
disagreement.
I tell this being like I tell all beings exactly who and what I am and what I'm doing here, and they spend all their time in life either rebuking me, ignoring me, reviling me, on and on and on, trying to disempower me with their confusion and fear. So, yeah, it is worth letting go of, loving people at a distance and letting go of folks who continue to destroy themselves and others and play the victim. He wouldn't tell you what he did with that woman of 14 years he's with. I'll tell you, right?
It's
And then
not-
he'll say it's not, of course.
necessary.
Of course, because they take him down to get killed for safety. And then I have to listen to how they have deep, meaningful relationships while they bullshit themselves and others. This is a being who has a 33-year track record of avoiding accountability, responsibility. So this is a peek into why our sons don't respect our fathers, because they've been
There's-
avoiding accountability, responsibility all of our fucking lives,
Well-
to all of our detriment.
When people disappoint us, it creates an opportunity for improvement, for us to improve our expectations and for us to provide
I
the
don't have
support and the
expectations. I
encouragement.
have outcomes.
Well, don't
Hey, if I
judge
can
the
say
outcome
something
when
here.
we're only just fucking
I don't think this is a
beginning. The
topic
future-
for here, Jack. Remember, his dad didn't even want to talk about this
There
online.
you go again, Moose. You're producing, and I'm not interested.
What?
If you give my father his way, he'll never address any of the harsh truths that plague his and everybody's life. He has a whole life history, like most of doing that. So my
Most
father
people
has a
do.
reason why he doesn't want to talk here or anywhere else. He wants to obfuscate and avoid the truth.
Gotcha. My bad.
We do nothing but come to these places to talk about everything and anything. He constantly avoids all the places where he talk about everything and anything to talk about what he wants to talk about, which keeps him in a loop of negative results. When you avoid the negative persists.
But when you focus on the negative, you miss the positive as well, Paul. Okay? And we can move past the negative and the flaws and the problems to recognize that this is the opportunity. This today and from now on is the opportunity for
Jack,
you guys
hold
to
on,
know the
Jack,
rest of
Jack,
your
hold
lives
on,
together.
Jack. It seems
Yes, but
suspicious
every
to me.
being involved
you
in the
know,
relating, just 1 second, every being involved in the relating and relationship has to take that opportunity, or else it will be a failed endeavor on one
Otherwise,
person's
it hurts. Yes.
Here's what I'm
hurts
wondering,
when
Jack.
when we're
Jack, it feels
rejected.
like you have a particular interest in this particular relationship, and I'm just wondering if not, you know, if you might not be projecting somewhat onto this based off your relationship with your son, because Paul has a lot of relationships with a lot of other people and a lot of other men. You have a particular interest in this one for some reason. I also find it interesting that, you know, Mr. Laporta seems to find common ground with you, and he seems to be somewhat of at least intellectually supporter of you in some way. So I'm just wondering, you know, Jack, if we're going to be completely forthright and introspective, what your particular interest is in this particular relationship, and indeed, if this isn't more of a indication of yourself and not Paul.
And I explained that to him for his own development, not because I want to prove a point. I noticed that my father and him, there's a reason, like the We Are Awake folks and everywhere, there's a reason we identify and take up with and for people, because something is happening in that relationship we're not aware of. So the same way Jack's son will claim, like I will, whether it's true or not, I guarantee he will make pretty much the same claim. Jack avoids accountability, responsibility in certain areas all my life, right? He might say that, I would suspect. Whether it's true or not, he will say that. So now, him and my father, Jack and my father, have the same story with the same claim from you know, their same son, and they're finding common ground, avoiding, again, accountability and responsibility, which is the hardest thing to do. I get it. I get when you have a child, you want to be the all and all. You want to be there for him, love him, care for him, protect him. You want him to respect you, all that. Well, you got to do stuff to get that. That's the hardest part. You got to be the example that don't you think I desperately want to look to Jack as my second daddy or my first daddy and say, look at these motherfuckers. They're twice my age. These are the fathers, the leaders. These are men right here. I respect them. I desperately want that. I can't do it because I've done more in certain areas and put my ass on the line when they refuse to. Forgive me if that's a sin. Right? Respect is conditional. I love them all unconditionally. Respect and trust. There's levels to it, and it's conditional. You got to be trustworthy and respect-able.
Amen. Brother,
Also,
if
Jack,
I
mean, hold on. I
want to
say, Jack,
answer. I want to answer. Go ahead, Z.
Just really quick, man. I want to say this, that I don't know. I mean, I don't know Mr. Laporta, but I've seen some of his comments and the way he approaches Paul and some of his comments, it doesn't seem like he's approaching him from a fatherly perspective. He almost finds competition with him. If I had to guess, he almost seems jealous of him, Jack. That's my opinion.
You mean like coming on my broadcast and pushing a book over and over again when I asked him not to? It speaks of jealousy and envy and using behavior. Here's the ironic part. I identify more with Jack than I do with my own father as a father figure, even though I think he's more crazy. Because I go, at least Jack wants to end wars. At least Jack ain't going to vote for Donnie. At least I have a list of at least Jacks. I can't even get my father to understand any of that or live on that. So I don't have to agree with the solutions even with Jack. I think in a lot of ways he's off the mark. But I see him more as someone close to me and how I came up and the journey I'm going through than this person who's so worldly and caught up in their own career and success. He said, I can't stand for rights and freedoms. I've been successful. He thinks once he gets some fiat, he's successful and don't have to be an honorable man. Pathetic.
I want to
address living on the government system and going, I want to end fiat for the good of humanity. I might think he's confused, but his damn intention is there. His heart is there. His care is there.
See, and Z, what Paul has brought up, he revealed a lot of the answer. And Z, you're very observant. I've questioned these. I've asked myself these questions as well. Okay, is there something driving me? But here, if you detach the names and the faces and you bring God into the equation, there's a lot of similarities. Yeah, so maybe, I mean, I'm like Paul's dad in a different way, reaching out to him and with the hopes it'll happen for me and my son. You know, there's some of that. Another part of it is in the bigger picture. you know, God had me living my life while you've been living yours, your dad's been living his, and, you know, eventually here I am. I'm kind of an example of a combination between your dad and you, right? I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to paint this, but part of the reason I'm not going to lie, Paul, and Senior, if you're listening, this is part of the reasons. I see so much potential in me and you, Paul, just as what I've been saying. And if your father saw the potential and the direction
Hey, Jack.
that I see, hold on, Moose, then everything would be aligned, because you and I were stories that there will be documentaries probably about you too, Paul. I mean, if anything, some of this stuff's going to end up in my documentaries. God's writing a fucking amazing story right now, and we're all part of it.
The true Hollywood story.
Hey,
Jack
before we
Talcott.
go on though, I
Behind
resonate with that, Jack.
behind the imagination.
I resonate with that message, Jack, because you know, the thing is Paul's father will actually get on the stream and he'll actually show like effort to kind of like want to be his father kind of thing. Whereas my own father, I can't even get him to come on a stream, you know, even just like in private. Like he would do nothing to support me. You know what I mean? So that's why I root for Mr. Laporta. I'm rooting for him, dude. Like other people in the crowd are rooting for me to get my shit together. I'm rooting for him to get his shit together.
Dude,
My
I can't even
father
get my
loves me.
parents to come over to my house. Come on, man. And I have a house. They live in an apartment, and they still don't come over. So, you know, and I've been here for 4 years now. So don't worry
My
about your
father
parents.
loves me and cares about me, but there's always been a gap of communication and a resistance to truth completely, right? From day one. So there's not really much I can do on my end other than to allow him to continue to experience and make choices and give him like a father would to a son. Hey, bro, if you do this, this is what's going to happen again. And I'm right every time.
Has he been doing that with you too?
No, because he doesn't have any information to give me. At a certain point, this is the point. I had to learn about everything on my own and third party. Right? Except for certain things. I told you the things he showed me on the baseball field. And even that was twisted in a way. I don't mind. I surrender it. I take what I can learn and I leave the rest. I'm not a victim.
Amen.
The point is we come to a certain point when we're old enough and we're men where we look each other in the eye and we go, we're equal now. And the results are going to tell the tale of where we're at. You call that ego if you want. Okay, that's a healthy competition to keep us all in check so we can have honorable bond. I don't care if it's father and son, brothers, whatever. That's brotherhood. So don't tell me you're my daddy and love and care about me, but rights and freedoms is not your cup of tea. You don't truly love and care about me because you sold me out to a shaitan. Because you didn't want to put your ass on the line while I do, and then you rebuke me in certain areas if I push you hard enough because of how you feel about it. You think I like this dynamic?
Hey, Paul, I want to point something out to you. Just because he didn't.
It's an infidel, Jack. It's
well,
very simple.
right.
Infidel.
Right.
Doesn't matter about love and feelings and everything else. You lack faith.
Everyone shows love in different ways, and many people don't understand love. Your father admitted some of this, that he's been developing his own growth over the recent years, that he's learning different things as a man, as an adult. And obviously he didn't have that knowledge when he could have played a different role with you, but we can't be hateful about the past. We got to find ways to be grateful for everyone and everything because it feels better. Gratitude.
I am thankful and grateful. My father is still not thankful and grateful. He's afraid of our past. He won't even talk about it. Well, Paul, you know what it did to me. Still afraid over the past and it's gone. I said, yeah, what I did to you, what we all did to ourselves and each other. Look at where I'm at now in my life. Why are you still in the past and afraid of it? I talk about it because I'm thankful and grateful. he's still not transcended the past, let alone come in the present to where he needs to be, because he doesn't have a coping mechanism other than ignorance and arrogance and ego. And now medications, from what I understand, he won't even tell me the truth about that, because my whole life he said, you smoke weed and everything else, drugs are for weak people, till he became weak, I guess. And now he's too arrogant and egotistical to tell me he's a weak ass motherfucker. Well, I knew that already. He was the one who didn't know. I saw the weakness all my life and fear.
Paul, it's easier to admit things to people when we're not anticipating judgment and condemnation. So
you don't get to live as an infidel and talk about judgment from others, motherfucker. That's ego. You better worry about judgment from something else. You better not worry about, like he says, I ain't going to talk the truth because it's going to be used against me. It's going against you at the end of the day anyway, fool. You don't get to decide where you tell truth and lie because you're worried about what people are going to think. Put no faith in earthly man and woman for whom there is no salvation. I don't give a fuck because I'm not an infidel.
Paul, here's something I want you to, I don't know how to express what I'm trying to say, but what I want you to try and think about the logic behind, right?
A punk-ass egotistical coward. Tell me about the logic behind it.
Well,
tell me about the logic behind an infidel who serves nothing but their nervous system. Tell me about it.
You have your own levels of distrust. And when we distrust, we extend that energy to others and cause others reasons not to feel trusting with us. So if you have concerns that your father is, or some in any relationship, if you have concerns that someone in your relationship is keeping things from you, start with looking at yourself and ask if you've given them reasons to do that. Because
right, so my whole life he's been doing that behavior, but somehow I was the reason for it.
No, Paul. Here, I'm not making excuses.
Not that he doesn't trust himself and what he says he knows. It's not that. It's that I give him reasons to not trust me.
No, Paul, please. I'm not making
that he's an untrustworthy and untrusting motherfucker who wouldn't trust his own family for good reason. It's not like he's the source of the distrust and broken trust. No, I am the one who came after the source. That makes sense.
Hey, Paul, honestly, you learn from him. And I looked at myself, how I treated you and him on here, and I gave you quite a bit more deference and respect than I did him. And part of that is, well, I didn't think you would, but in my belief, I did. And
I thought you were showing bias by putting me in the back over and over and letting him obfuscate and enable his weakness and justify his wrong.
I can see why you'd think that, but I was trying to keep order for the time, not so much that. As far as the exchanges, I hold him more accountable, more responsible because he's the father. But at the same time, you guys are both spiritual beings just progressing. He's just had more time than you have.
Right, and you can tell what someone's done with their time and what the results are by the amount they put their energy and attention and time into something. So when you put none of your time, energy, and attention in to what's true and what's right, and I've had to become 33 years old and still encourage you to do so, and you still waste your time and make excuses, you're irredeemable at this point. Because you're an infidel and don't understand the walk in the way and don't care to, because you'd rather go to your fake ass pastor and play the game of, well, I've learned from my pastor, not from my son. More ego games. People put people in our lives for a reason, and he still can't figure out why I've been put here in his life or in this life. It's pretty clear to many others, by the way.
Hey,
a prophet is respected everywhere but his own home. Remember that.
Amen. Amen.
Well, Jack, I just wanted to bring something up, Jack, is that, okay, we could talk about relationships, but the father-son relationship's a bit different. It seems to me that the relationship is almost wholly dictated by the actions of the father. You're raising the child. The dynamics, the interpersonal interplay between the two beings is typically dictated by the parent. So to say that there's sort of equal measure involved in a relationship, I think doesn't hold water. I do think the parent dictates the nature of the relationship. It's almost a fruit that they must bear.
Z, I agree to a degree. All right. But at some point, Paul isn't a grown man. He's an adult. And at some point, he can't stop. He's got to, there's no blaming mom and dad at a certain
Right.
point.
But Jack,
For what?
you know,
Blaming for what? All the things that I
it's
now
not about
have
blaming.
that he
man.
didn't
No.
teach me how to get the way that I got
It's
him.
a dynamic. A dynamic gets formed. Jack, it forms
Okay,
on a neurological level, man. The neurological pathways get formed. It's stimulus response over and over and over again. Operant conditioning on a high level with a young child. These become ingrained patterns. Now, I could see if somebody became radically different at some point, if the father at some point changed, but we have a father still presenting with the same personality. There's going to be the same trigger points. There's going to be the same dynamics. The parent dictates the relationship.
You can't correct the problem with the same level of consciousness that created it. And I've not seen the level of transcendence that he and others have seen in me in such a short time. I've seen 33 years of lackluster presentment, no motivation and ambition to achieve anything other than worldly trappings. So what you put in is what you get out, right?
Well, let me come
Turn the
back to
TV off. Tell him, Jack, when you see him, turn the TV off like I did 10 years ago. Never look back. Haven't watched it again except when I bring up breaking news, nonsense slavery to show you how it's all bullshit. But I don't watch TV. I haven't in 10 fucking years. He still watches it daily. Fox News, going to vote for Trump. Come on, man. At what point, like, seriously, some folks you might have to love and let go. There might be no, he's getting up there, man, 65. His daddy died at 50 when he was 16. He's such an egoic motherfucker. He doesn't even realize, like I realized at 33, he's living on borrowed time, right? Like he needs a heroin addiction, I guess. He needs some jail time. He needs a couple overdoses. He needs to face his death and mortality and go past his fear into faith. Maybe. I don't know. That's what it took me.
Right. It took
I was a
you.
stubborn, egoic, hard-headed
Oh,
motherfucker who
geez.
didn't want to be reverent in the face of truth. I get it.
Right. You were redeemable. You found ways to become redeemable. You're painting this picture that you've painted the picture that many are unredeemable.
At this time.
Paul, this is what I'm trying to bring up is I think it was one of you said something about you got to have a change in consciousness. You got to have a change.
Okay, irreverent. Is that a better word? You're right, Jack. Irredeemable at this time implies if they're irredeemable, they're irredeemable. They're irreverent at this time. Is that a better word for you? I can't go anywhere with a motherfucker who's irreverent to truth.
But this is the point. People can change. And maybe they're not, and maybe these people aren't aware of, they're not aware. Maybe they've been denying. Maybe they've been actually refusing what they've been ignoring, right? That's what I was discussing not long ago. People are stupid, and we got to stop allowing people to be stupid. And Paul, with all due respect, as a man who would do anything to be with my fucking son, stop being stupid. Find a way to get along better with your dad, and I'll tell him the same damn thing.
Jack, the difference, don't equally yoke yourself, because I'll point out all your inadequacies and I'll also give you credit where it's due. You come here every day. You start over every day. You try to extend a loving hand. You could be in confusion. Great. You're still willing to talk and go over the same bullshit and try to answer to it. He will avoid and lie and obfuscate. So you might be confused. That's not irreverent. He's actively avoiding the truth for political presentment reasons, and I don't respect it, right? I would almost prefer he be confused and insane than to be able to perceive what I'm talking about completely and not be confused, but act like he's confused. See, we don't meet sometimes because we're not seeing the same thing. We're trying to. He's not trying to. He's saying, I don't want to see it. I don't want to talk about it because it's going to make me look bad. You're a devil.
Hey,
It's
Paul.
that simple.
I'll tell you this. Senior was on here earlier. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
He stopped by and hung out for a little bit. If that's the case, if if he's been resistant and refusing opportunities for discussion and resolve, I have no problem. Senior, you're always welcome here, but that's something we'll be discussing. Okay? No fucking excuses. I don't want to see someone blaming and making excuses for what they could have done.
No, I'm going to make it very easy, like I always do, and he won't take the opportunity, like policy enforcement very rarely does. I'll meet them right in the middle. We all did fucked up shit. We all fell extremely low of the Most High in our conscience, and today is the new day where you're going to atone and repent, and you're going to reform yourself, and if I don't see the look in your eye, because I'm going to already know, that's how I know. They don't understand how I know. When a motherfucker comes back to me before God, not to me before God, with that light in their eyes and says, now I see, Paulie, I get it. And I've been really fucked up and confused, and I've done a lot of wrong, and I want out. When that desperate look is in their eye because they want out and they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, I know they're ready. And he ain't got that look. He's still sick and tired and comfortable in his sickness.
Well, there's okay, Paul. I get what you're saying, but that's what I was talking about earlier. You got to have that fucking burning desire. You got to want to fucking change, and then when you want to change, you're going to change in ways you may not be ready for.
Right, and you're going to get a whole bunch of tests and challenges and questioning to your bullshit, and you're going to have to really search yourself and look at it. And if you try to cheat on the test, you're going to fuck yourself long term with the creation. So everyone really needs to understand the toxic part of the ego that seeks to constantly defend its behavior because it thinks it's under attack. I'm not attacking anyone. I'm trying to save you from yourself. You're seeing it as an attack. So I put the hand down to lift you up and you try to pull me back in. I'm not interested in your ego games. It's all over. If you can't see that, might not be any hope for you.
Hey, Paul, I see you doing exactly what you're saying, but here's a thought. I failed to do what I'm suggesting, but it's the other side of what you're saying, right? That fucking fire in the eyes you're talking about, that burning desire to change. You and I maybe went through that from the darkness, right? When the world was stacked against us. But I believe that I believe that fire can be ignited through inspiration as well. You know, the opposite side of it. And so with your dad, maybe he's been resistant, maybe he's, the excuses, but I tried presenting him some of this earlier, that I see so many possibilities in the future, but he doesn't believe that a world can be without war. And, how do you convince someone that what's never been in the past is actually available
Fine,
right
I'll
now?
even meet him there. I'm an expert at meeting people at their bullshit line of excuse. So let's say war is never going to end on a worldly scale. You could still end it within yourself and within your community. So we don't have to end world wars because that's fought by a bunch of masses of slaves who continue to choose slavery. Charity starts in the home. End the war within yourself over truth and your ego. End the war with me over truth and ego. End the war in your fucking community. Okay? It starts with self and at home, and it extends outward as within, so without.
Holy shit, Paul. Yes, you're exactly right. But see, in the context of what him and I were talking about, it was in my ideas of the future of having Paul enslaved at my side, speaking and rapping at the UN and to the U.S. government.
You know what the saddest part of this is the only reason, there's a bunch of reasons. My father identifies with you because he's a perpetual victim. And when he sees people using your face and playing with your likeness and you complaining, he gets a soft spot in his heart. Oh, poor Jack, I love him. He feels sorry for you. He doesn't feel united with you. He feels sorry for you, and it allows him to prop himself up as someone else to feel sorry for, to identify with, and then make you both out to be a victim. And I don't want to see either person like that. Nobody's a victim except
I see his point, Jack. I see his point, dude. Because listen, because everybody was saying how bad it was for all of us using your face and saying all funny comments and stuff. But look where you're at now. It's time to get serious, right? You got the fire built under you. You got the train going fast.
What's
the
gonna
coal's
happen,
going in
Jack?
the engine.
Sorry, Moose. That was my mistake. What's going to happen, Jack, when you take them fucking plates off one day and you fucking rebuke all this worldly approval for your existence and give back the 300 and all the rest of it, and then really step out into the power, right? If that's your journey and your walk. I know you're making a face at me right now. I'm wanting to see you. I'm very egoic. I'm wanting to see you walk side by side with me in these different areas. I want you to feel how it feels. Even if you don't continue it, I want you to feel how it feels one day when you say, fuck all of you. I'm going to show you what it looks like to be a man and live free and love myself and the truth, separate from your coercion and your benefits, because I don't want your benefits to be pimped on and I don't want your coercion to be pimped on, because they're going to expect something with both. That's how they roll. Okay? Nothing
but
for nothing.
that's their problem. That's their problem.
I'm just saying to you, I want you and others, you don't have to even answer. I might be being egoic. I want you and others to feel, along with Michael Sino, I want him to be riding with his lady one day and have them plates off and all the shit put to the side and have a conversation with a policy enforcement officer about what a man is. Right? I want you to feel what it feels like and tell me if you'll ever stop it ever again. And when you do decide to stop it, tell me if it's like dope almost, that you don't want to go back to, that you can't imagine not going back to it, right? I don't even feel that for dope anymore. I wouldn't do it ever again. You put it right in front of me. This shit, rights, freedom, and principles, you can't get it out of my blood and bones. There's no detox for this shit. So I want you to feel what it's like to be addicted toward the word of truth, the meanings and definitions and experiences that come with it.
Paul, I wish you could understand the vision I see, because the vision I see, you can forget about that $300 a month that was part of my past. It's irrelevant. And I see a future where we are all helping hold each other up, helping us support each other, where we are all living in a world of benefits because we live to benefit each other. And the future, brother, the future is what I'm saying. I don't know how it's going to happen, but wars are going to end. Debts are going to be forgiven. New technologies will be released. We're going to restructure how children are educated, how injuries and injustices are addressed.
Jackie boy, I have my black t-shirt on, as I most oftentimes do, much like Johnny Cash. Right. So I'm a painful reminder of the harsh truth everyone keeps ignoring. Not paying people's debts. I'm not saying the debt system is legitimate. Watch where I'm going here. Not paying our debts and atoning for what we've chosen to do contractually is one of the biggest problems with God and this world, is that we're going to have now debts forgiven. So people once again get to avoid accountability, responsibility for all their choices. Well, if you want their debts forgiven, you better reappropriate all that property that they got through the debt system, that they didn't get or build themselves.
Oh, I'm sure that'll happen too. We're going to figure this shit out. There's going to be some changes, I see. Once morality and facts and evidence, once the truth, hey, what you were saying, yeah. Everyone in the past wants to just forget the shit from the past, like slavery didn't happen and that everyone's equal, right?
No,
he's
talking about like the shit that we do. The shit that we do on a daily basis, the money that we spend that we can't afford to spend. He's talking about the now. Like,
somebody's got to atone, man. What do you think this is? We could just all go on for thousands of years and then never have an atonement and penance?
No,
it's laughable.
No. Hey, hold on. This is the point.
You should be so hungry to pay that debt back only because you gave your word to somebody you'd do it. Not because it's legitimate. Because you gave your word once again, like all the military did to God, to do what they knew they were supposed to, agreed, and then went back on it. Like they always do when they get poor and broken. They don't go
Paul,
to a tent like Paulie Boy when they have everything. They get desperate when they're poor and broken. See the difference?
Right. I
And
wanted to
when
bring this up to Paul's point, though, Jack, is have you considered the possible cost of the world that you envision? Have you considered the possible cost to individual sovereignty, communion with God, rights, responsibilities? You know, at what cost is the future that you're presenting, Jack? That's the biggest issue that I have with this utopian idea of peace on earth and the lion laying down with the lamb in this realm. Because I see a big
No.
cost to it, one that's probably anti-human in so many ways.
Ooh, anti-human. That could be a word we could discuss, but what is the cost? That was the question you were asking. In the world that Jack envisions. And it's not Jack. Jack just came. I learned of these ideas from other folks, and I'm just stealing shit and, incorporating it into my own experience. What the cost is, you know what? There will be a cost of billions, maybe trillions of dollars, because we won't need that bullshit anymore. And so what it'd be cost is people would lose their positions of authority. People would lose their positions of celebrity. People would lose their past convictions, their past habits, their past challenges.
Here's the thing, Jack. I don't want to cut you off, but what if I'm saying what if the idea, the future that you're envisioning is not possible given the realities of this realm, right? What if this idea to change the world is actually probably fruitless and in some ways psychotic? I'm not saying you're psychotic, but the idea that we can control and change what seems to be endemic in this world, what seems to be a world of conflict. Like what Paulie was saying, is it possible, Jack, that the real battle is within ourselves to end the conflict within? Because the idea to end conflicts around the world is, to me, it's a control mindset. It's going without ourselves. In some ways, I consider it psychopathic.
Anything you can't do directly without a mechanism to get there is an illusion and deception. And there is no mechanism to do anything in the world other than change yourself and build on what is presented. Right?
You're right.
So
Like,
once
Jack,
we get out of the idea of having to stop world wars, because they're going to
whoa,
go on like
whoa. Wait, you're like presenting one thing and then you're jumping over to this fucking conclusion.
right, because there's
like,
no
whoa.
mechanism to stop a bunch of people
Wait,
from.
hold on. I want to correct where you're going, because you're right. The first mechanism is yourself. You fix yourself. You end the conflicts within, and then you evaluate. You do that super acceptance thing.
Part of the conflict is thinking that you're here to end good or evil. You're doing what they're doing. You think you could possibly end God and good? No. You think you could end evil? No. It exists for a reason and a function. That's a conflict.
Those are straw man arguments created simply to be disagreeable. Okay?
You could only stop being evil and be good or great. You cannot stop good or evil from existing.
Right.
You're not God.
Right. I fucking know. So stop making excuses. What I'm trying to say is, yes, we start with ending the conflicts within us, and then we extend opportunities. We share.
Jack, are you willing to change your brand? Your brand of, when I say brand, I'm putting in quotes, of ending wars. I know that's what your huge thing. Are you willing to deviate from that mindset, that goal? Are you flexible enough to realize that maybe that was somewhat of an egoic conception in your part? Are you willing to be flexible enough to embrace another mindset?
Yes, I'm prepared to die in order to see peace be achieved. Now, if someone can convince me with alternatives that still brings equality and a better world to the future, hey, I'm open to any suggestions.
Now watch how I give you the other side of that coin. You're willing to die to make sure that peace is achieved, but are you truly willing to live?
Yes.
Many folks
yes.
die one way or the other trying to achieve peace, even through war. But did they ever truly live with rights, freedom, care, and principles?
Yes.
An honorable lifestyle, a noble lifestyle. That's the difference. When you go into that mode and live from that mode, there's nothing left to be done. Nothing is done, nothing left to be undone. The work is within.
Well, Paul, I didn't get the, hey, absolute agreement in everything. Here's my life has been a progression. It's documented on the YouTube, kind of like you, Paul, right? I've been doing a lot of inner growth and work along this way. The that guy who was on the other day, Mike, whatever his name was, the guy who identified himself as the return of Jesus Christ.
Right.
Yeah. Did you feel like he was wasting your time?
No more than what I've been experiencing elsewhere. Just
Yeah, no more than you, Moose, is what he's saying indirectly.
Hey, I understand. But here we are today, and
well, and
we're
actually,
making bread.
you know, Mike is just, he's living another bizarre life, right? And there's a lot of facts and evidence in his life that have been revealed to him, and he's trying to figure out what the fuck does this mean. And so that's, yeah, him and I have talked offline too, and he's welcome back. But
Tell him if he comes back, though, he's got to get a better wizard's hat.
yeah, he's learning to be him as well. That's one of the things him and I talked about.
We're all trying, I guess.
The reason I brought him up is he said that, you know, since whatever it was, August of 17, I think he said, when his benefits ended, he didn't go into the details, but he's been living and receiving that which he needs to continue. And that, dude, that's me. I mean, I can point out and give explanations for everything and how it came to be, but it's like, holy shit, I don't know how this is happening. But I've been following what I believe to be the way for me, and I have not worked a job since 2018. I haven't had a schedule. I've tried to make myself available and included. Nobody fucking wanted me, so I had to relax and figure out, all right, God, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? And I still don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm fucking excited because I think we are. I've been living righteously, like you're saying, Paul. You live righteously without worry, and you start creating that life. I've created a life for myself. I live in a world without conflicts and debts. They keep coming into my reality and into my existence. People keep bringing shit to me that say, hey, give me money.
I'm telling you that just like eating meat, they'll say, they'll do the same face you do when I bring up the $300 a month. Jack, don't you think it'd be more beneficial to me to leave that alone and not keep talking about it when you've been donating to me? Might make you donate the $300 to me every month, right? But I don't, it's not about that. So I'm saying the same way they'll make the face when I go, you got to stop eating meat. I believe, for me, that's what I know at this time for me, to mitigate the karmic cycle. And they do the face. I got to give up something that I'm used to that is really no expression of a consequence or an outcome. I go, yeah, this is what's apparent to me. And I think if you try it, because you might always be able to go back, right? You could just give it up 1 month and then go write them back and say, I really fucked up on that. They'll give it back. Why is it we're so reticent to give up the meat, to give up the $300? You got to ask yourself that. What is it about us and that relationship? It's a form of bondage and debt. On some level, we must think we need it. If we didn't think we needed or it was part of us, we'd let go of what is not truly serving us and whoever we're involved with. There is no more service to be done. There never was from the beginning. They used you and you used them. It's like an ex-girlfriend. She's still sending you $300 a month going, oh, Jackie, I feel indebted to you now. I don't want nothing to do with you. I want no connection with you and the debt between us. It is chaos and bad karma. Okay, that's why I'm saying we need to stop equally yoking ourselves on all levels. Me coming on YouTube is pushing that boundary with what they do. I really have to flip the game. I come on here to walk them down, really. So they go to striking me and I go to walking them down. You ain't going to have a toxic relationship with me where I'm indebted to you, right? If anything, we're going to be equal and neutral, or you're indebted to me. You're my servant. You're here to bring my message and my understanding to these people. That's your function, as long as I'm not causing loss, injury, and harm. That's your service, right? So I don't say servant in the sense of bow to me. I say do your fucking job and provide your service independently and unbiased, right? So again, if we could all get right with ourselves,
Well,
go ahead, sir.
I I was shaking my head in some disagreement there regarding the control, the servant. There's no one is above me, no one is below me. I'm grateful for those who wish to contribute and cooperate with me, to include the YouTube Corporation and the fucking Comcast organization. Those
I can
demons,
interrupt
thank
there,
them.
Jack. I think it's a good thing to be in service to others, though.
That's the thing. This is part of the ego. Like the policy
Well,
enforcement go, you want me to be a servant? I go, I know you're twisted because you don't see service like how I see it. You better damn hope that I do DoorDash so you can get your fucking meal. So I'm proud to serve in a way. The point is, motherfuckers don't know their role and position, have to be told. So you have to be told to have a servant's heart and be thankful and grateful for an opportunity you might not have as a peasant slave that you are with no abilities, right? I was thankful and grateful I got to make my own schedule, ride around, bring these bozos their Starbucks, and make a fucking living and then some, right? Do it my own way in my own time, and they provided a service, and I provided a service, and everybody was happy till they stepped over the line and played themselves out of position like they always do. They want to play higher and lower games. I'm telling you, we need all positions filled. Everyone has a role and a position to play and should be thankful and grateful for it, or just do something else or better.
Here, no one can serve anyone or anything until the moment it happens. Okay. And what you were saying about these servants, yeah, people have forgot why they have jobs. They have jobs to serve the purpose, which is usually the policy enforcers. It's supposed to be the people, not to serve the policy. But I've heard this case made, and I agree with it. Christianity has been used as a tool for brainwashing, convincing people to be in servants to those of wealth and those in positions above them. It's all bullshit. We're here to serve the truth. We're here to serve love. And we're here to serve life. Because that's God.
When you do that, Jack, you take that everywhere you go. So if you're living that way, you take it to your pizza shop and you say, I'm going to make the best fucking pizza in this town, and I'm going to create an atmosphere in this motherfucker that's lit up so folks want to be in here. There's a movement. There's an energy. Bro, I'm not going to say what type of property because I have to be, whatever with this. There's certain kind of stores, right, that I'll go to from time to time that sell certain kind of property. I already know when I walk in there by the energy of the place if they're doing good or bad business. I could tell by the owner, the light in his eyes, he's yapping, he's talking to this guy and that guy. I see 1,000 things all over the place because he's moving stuff. You go into a store, 10 things on the wall. The guy's fucking lackluster. Nobody's in there. He's barely piping up. You already know it's a loser failure, right? So you are who you are in anything you do, in everything you do. I'm just telling you, we need to take this principle and this ethic to everything we do. I don't care if it's making and selling pizza. I don't care if it's governance. You do it because you want to do it and want to be there and enjoy what you're bringing to the community and how it all comes back to you. If you don't fucking be there. But people just want to show up and collect a check. That's what it's become. Show up, do the least as possible, collect a check, and go back to your fucking humdrum lifestyle.
Hey, brother, that's actually, I want to offer an encouraging lesson from what you just said. It's something I had to humble myself about because we don't control the results. We don't even control how many options we have available to us at a certain time. So You got to make the most with what's available, capture and create as many opportunities as you can. But regardless, in life, you're going to end up having to do shit you don't want to do. You know, maybe it's a job for a little while just to get yourself going. Maybe it's or to learn something new, or maybe whatever. Our situations come and go. But whatever you do, you can feel miserable about it or you can feel good. And if you feel good about it, if you can do what you want and want what you do, want to do what you do and do what you want, you'll feel life and you'll feel better doing a purpose for someone else. We agree, Paul, but I believe that this is the time it's going to start changing. Doing this is going to start changing people.
You have to do what you love that you're also good at, right? So I came to find out, I didn't know this, but when I started this and continue this, I not only love doing what I do here, but folks tell me I'm good at it, right? And then you know what they say then, if you love something and you're good at it, never do it for free. But let's not go there because that might be a little bit worldly and egoic. And what I've come to find out is voluntarily you don't have to charge because motherfuckers tend to be or want to be good. And when they get value and equity constantly, they say, you know what, Paulie, here's a few for you, right? And then you know what? Really good people say, I know most people are like cheap and tight and scared like I am, right? So I'm not talking down to quote unquote slaves. They'll say Paulie calls his audience slaves, sort of a tongue-in-cheek thing, right? Because we're all in this together, like they say. But, you know, a lot of folks have been like me all their life. They may have everything they need and then some, but they're so insecure about their true value, they're scared to let go of it because they don't think it's going to come back.
Just a couple quick things. Hey, thanks for having me on your show, Jack. That saying we're all in this together, what they meant to say is we're all in on this together, meaning the governments of the world are colluding.
Right, sir. I'm not interested in your paranoid bent that you always have to break in with.
Okay. Yeah, dude, you just interrupted the flow, dude.
I was doing a play off of their phrase.
The way that you speak and the way you talk over everybody, and you go like this, and you say motherfucker a lot.
And I always get you to go off.
You kill the message. You kill the message. You have a good message, Paul, but you kill it. You kill the message.
Stop. Both.
Daddy did it all to
disengage. Paul, hold on just a moment.
The government that did it all to you. It's not that you are looked upon by your inferior masters as invaluable and non-essential. That's why they told you you're invaluable and non-essential. We're shutting you down because you don't stand for nothing. The time is now, they said. They said they're so non-essential and unprincipled infidels. The time is now. We're moving in. They didn't even have to move in. They said we're gonna train you all to
hold on. Come on. You came up, please. I don't want a long lesson again, Mr. Smith. Yes, you are welcome.
Paul, we're gonna let Paul do his long lesson. The whole point I was making is that
Jack, right, I'm actually doing something and being something and changing something. You're just angry on the internet.
I'm not angry at all. The point I was going to make is
there's a difference between being part of the
flow. So if anybody's allowed to talk at all, Paul keeps going and going and going.
Could you turn him down for a second? I want to point out how he just convicted himself like they always do. This is a good skill to learn.
Why?
He came up and I was in the middle of my monologue talking verbose as I always do, on and on.
Right.
And he just cut me right off, which proves
it was a good time. You'd been going on for a while.
Okay, well, Jack, you could just cut me off then next time and say I'm going on for too long.
I've tried.
Okay.
But this is a different point. So he interrupted you. You're right.
Right.
You were going on.
Yeah, but he was flowing pretty damn good. You can't say he wasn't. Wow.
And then Smith came up to interrupt. So what was the purpose? What did you want to get out, Mr. Smith? You're muted.
You're muted.
That was probably me. Now, please.
Okay, so the point I was making is that Paul does have a good message. It's the way that he goes about it. It makes it really divisive.
Okay, I don't care. I don't care for your opinions of Paul or me. What is there something factual?
Well, that was a fact. That was it. That was I started listening to your channel about a week ago.
So we derailed the flow train that Paulie was conducting to just prove that Paulie wasn't conducting the flow train. But Moose says he was. So even though he doesn't, we've had a checkered past. I tend to agree that when he's piping up to say he's not sucking my dick and licking my boots. He's just feeling what I felt. I was in a flow. I think other folks were feeling that. I think I was giving some good information. And if people want to pipe up, you've been piping up the whole time, Jack, haven't you? We've been having a back and forth. You've been asking me stuff.
Right.
I've been challenging you.
I've been navigating and trying to find the balance. I hold a lot of respect and admiration for you, but many of the things you're sharing on this is my platform. Some of the things you share are actually contradictory to what I'm offering.
That's fine, though, isn't it?
It is. But at what point do we try and figure out the similarities instead of the differences? And
yeah, I thought I was doing that. It's weird how it was
irony.
perceived. I thought that, like, when I said that we all need to unite, as I do day after day, on certain things that need to be done to exemplify to others that we are no longer in a master-slave relationship with our government and with our friends and family. So that takes on many forms and appearances of how we respond.
Paul, here, please allow my frustration is what it is. Okay, my claims are what they are. They sound unbelievable. They sound impossible, absurd. But what I'm saying is exactly what you're saying, Paul. It's the same stuff. I'm pointing out the same stuff that Z is pointing out. I'm saying the same stuff that many others are saying. But I'm trying to build a community, and I think we've got everything in place. When we stop fighting, I think everything will fucking work out perfectly. But I don't know how.
I just want to say that I don't think that I did anything to, deserve getting thrown in the back. And if you thought I was being disrespectful, that wasn't my intent.
I know it wasn't. It was just I saw as your addition as very unhelpful. When we're already trying to resolve things, for you to come in and try and take over, I'm like, what the fuck? So there was no disrespect intended, but I'm trying for the life of me to figure out, what do we do? How do we balance entertainment and order? How do we capture the most for the time, least amount of time, greatest value, greatest effort, so that the world will reward us, right?
You're
so that
right.
the impact is made.
I just felt like he was on a flow, and I was learning from that. And that was a one time, in this broadcast, this specific one, that I was like, damn, like I was waiting to hear what he had to say next.
All right. So do you want him to resume if this was
I don't know what I was saying, Jack.
I know. He doesn't either.
Oh. Jack, you did it again. You fucking rascally wabbit, you. You turned right around on you. Well, is that true, Moose? Is that true? Do you know what I was talking about or not?
Well, no, the thing is
I
started getting, no, I don't. Because I moved on from that because I was like feeling slighted because I got thrown in the hole when I wasn't even part of the fight.
He's saying he would have known if you didn't traumatize him and put him in the hole.
Well, see, this is what I mean, Moose.
Because I'm trying to find my flow here.
Moose, right. I know you were bringing this up because you were feeling insecure and slighted, but I also knew that you were defending Paul out of bullshit. You weren't caught up in maybe you were paying attention at that moment, but I know you weren't paying attention to what he was saying. It was just a fucking excuse.
No, that's actually, I'm trying to be genuine here, and I can't even get off as a genuine, I can't win whether I'm a fucking ass or I'm genuine or I'm fake or.
Moose, let me make this admission, something I realized about myself. Accusations have been made. I am a damn good manipulator. I am fucking good at manipulation.
And are you sure that's wise to say that right now, Jack?
All too willing to use your many talents. I'm glad that we're making. Wow.
Don't reveal your magical secrets, Jack.
This is a breakthrough, people. They said it wouldn't happen, but it's happened right here. For you say Talcott's a manipulative narcissist, he might be, but to come forward and say that he's good at manipulation and is actively engaged in it, that's a breakthrough. Okay, so go ahead, Jack. I look forward to your progress.
Paul?
One more step towards bettering yourself there, Jack.
Hey, many of us are. Paul, you're good at it too. I've accused you of it, and I've accused others of being manipulative. And I've been, I'm doing the same thing. But so then you gotta go into intentions, because if I can accept that I am manipulative, well, fuck, then it's a tool. It's a tool I've got in my bag.
But you have to use it for good, Jack.
Yes, and that's where we go. I think there's plenty of evidence that shows my heart is pure. I don't mean to cause anyone harm, and if I'm manipulating, I'm always open about my manipulations too, Paul. Indirectly and directly, I've been manipulating you, and it hasn't even been intentional.
Oh, Jack, that's shocking to me. I never would have guessed.
Yeah, I know. You had no idea.
With the whole I see potential in you, I really want to work with you. It's not like there's any reason,
that
you'd be like contacting me. And I get it. But again, throughout your manipulation, what you've learned is you can actually come to find an endearing space with somebody. That's what I've learned as well. I kind of knew that, right? I mean, this is like the Moose fellow. I extended him some trust. I let him get him endeared to me, and he went and fucked me 10 different ways to Sunday. But I knew that was a possibility, right?
Holy shit.
Through the manipulative process, it's like Richard Gere in Pretty Woman, right? You go to fuck a hooker, next thing you know, you're buying her dinner and trying to dress her up and give her a better life. Exactly what happened.
What did you?
Don't worry. It's all going to come back. It's all going to come back, dude. It's just give me some time.
I had to Paul, I've been open and described this, and as you were talking, I had to really reflect on that. This growth and this admission, the admission of my manipulation. Holy shit.
Dude,
that's a direct result of
maybe you weren't being manipulative. Maybe it was you were being charismatic.
No,
OTW, we're not even going to try that shit.
Characterizing me as manipulative.
He literally admitted to being
charismatic.
Yeah, he admitted to being manipulative with me.
You are agents of chaos. You don't want Jack Talcott to have a clarity on himself and awareness on himself.
No, that's not true.
Next move. You want to convince him that he didn't just have a breakthrough. Because I could have taken 4 months to say, Jack, you're manipulative, right? Just tell us all you're manipulative. Like, no.
Fuck you. No way.
And he came forth with it. When you start telling on yourself in front of God, I know there's progress. Because that's what I do. Tell on myself in front of God.
I'm actually proud of you. I'm proud of you, Jack, because now I don't feel as dirty being manipulated by you because you said it was true. You said it.
And that's the game, right? When people are manipulating, like Cher said, everybody wants to use or be used. Everyone knows what's happening, like the cupcakes over there. They all know they're full of shit on some level, using each other. Just feels better, they think, than challenging themselves and each other, right? Your mischief will sour.
Oh, I just saw Moose's comment.
Because I was butthurt, Jack.
Well, right. No, but wait.
The thing about wanting to be your next Filipino houseboy?
So for those who don't see, Moose left in the background. And first, the reason I looked.
Oh, here we go, Jack. Jack, let me read it. Let me read it since it's my comment. Here, let me go back to it. I said, see, Jack, you want to disrespect me, I won't come around. And what I said by that is because I'm setting boundaries. I'm starting to move forward. I'm trying to actually walk with the spirit, actually do my work and do the shit that I'm, supposed to be doing. And so I'm not going to be around people who don't really want me to be there. If you don't want me to be here, I don't want to be part of the show. But if you want me here, I'm going to try to fit in.
Hey, much love. I didn't need an explanation for why you said it. I can understand that. But the point
I wasn't trying to be an asshole.
No, the point I was thinking. All I have to do to keep you away from me is to offer you more disrespect. Holy shit, dude.
You should have
That's
led
all
with
I
that
gotta
months
do.
ago.
I got plenty of disrespect. to
Damn,
give to
Jack, you made a
dude.
funny,
Fucking hit the
brother.
road.
You hit a funny right there, my man.
Someone's asking what manipulation for good is. Well, it's like Clay, right? You've seen me manipulate Talcott and Ian and others. It's not deceptive manipulation. It's certain tactics and presentments I employ to elicit a result or a response, and then I comment on that and I let them sit with it. So just like the clay, I'm forming, I'm moving, I let it sit, it dries, it hardens, I break it again, I reform it, I break it again, right? So that's the game that's going on here. So it's a form of manipulation because I'm the God of all media, just like God will do to everyone in their life, constantly reform, break with your ego. Till
Hey, are we
eventually
going to go back to the fact that Jack doesn't really want me here? He kind of said that.
Actually, no, hold on.
Well, no one really wants you here, but maybe you're needed here for some mysterious cosmic purpose we're not aware of. So we allow you to stay.
It's in
I'm
the stars.
gambling.
It's written in the astrology. You know, you have to go check out your sign, and you most likely your sign is going to tell you that you have to be here right now because it's all scripted. Everything's written.
Well,
There you
I'm
go.
gambling with our time and our patience that there is a reason for him being here. But the other comment in the back was Z did say his goodbye. I didn't mean, I was grateful for him stopping by. I hope he has a good day. Hey, and back to the manipulation topic. Here's the thing though, the power of truth. It's empowering to be accurate. Okay, it's not empowering to be manipulative, but it's empowering to know that, okay, it's a tool I've got. And accuracy, dude, that's where it matters. And as far as manipulation goes, it is kind of an artistry. It's a skill, it's a talent, it's a method of influence that the elite have used to fucking brainwash everybody. So the power is coming to us, and we're on the side of the light. And we're going to manipulate the fuck out of this world.
I don't think it's
Sounds
much about
bad when you say it
manipulation,
like
Jack, but seriously, it's more
Jack,
or less
let's
about
reform that last
reprogramming your subconscious mind there. You know,
Say again, OTW.
Yeah, I was just saying it's not much about. It's more or less about manipulation than reprogramming your subconscious mind. You know, to empty your cup and refill it with the right information, and then move forward with that information, and you know, not let yourself be guided by your previous indoctrinations, if for lack of a better term.
I can dig it.
I yield.
Hey, welcome, brother. If you got anything to, feel free to jump in as you wish.
Hey, are you Turkish?
Dude, he has like a straight face right now that looks like he wants
Can
to
you
kill
relax,
somebody.
please? Thank you. Are you Turkish, sir?
Yeah. Okay, now I feel better. He's smiling.
What's
Okay,
your
he looks
ethnicity?
human.
I can't hear you.
You're muted, or something's going on with your mic, bro.
We might not have audio. Oh, here. Now try.
How's that?
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your ethnicity?
Ethnicity? Shit.
Like your
I don't know.
background. Where's your family originally?
French, Italian.
Damn, dude, I thought this guy was gonna have the deepest voice you've ever heard.
No. But why? I mean, I just had to jump in because it's like, why do you think you have to manipulate, or like you enjoy it, or like you're good at it? It's like, why manipulate?
I think
Me?
he's trying to teach me a lesson.
No,
Well,
no.
if you're asking me,
Yeah.
what I'm pointing out is that's part of our human nature. The egoic mind is manipulative. It's very tricky. And it'll manipulate us into believing all sorts of stupid shit. But I've recognized that I am a good manipulator. And so I admitted that because of, in the context of what's been growing between Paul and I, you know, I thought it was appropriate
Hey, wait a
bring that out.
I've just
No, I mean,
realized-
that's cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. Long time supporter, Paul. You guys, the whole panel, you guys are great. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Have you
And,
ever manipulated me, Jack?
me?
No, Jack. Like I'm just like I'm oblivious right now. I'm just like I'm thinking maybe Jack
No,
manipulated me
here,
and I'm not
actually,
aware of it.
probably the best way to describe it. I mean, as you asked, I tried to consider. I don't think I have. At the best, I manipulate me. I manipulate the presentation of me. I'm still truthful, still honest, but you may get a different version of me depending on what it is I'm
Okay,
trying to
so that's
communicate.
why
Or
sometimes I have the impression that you're like riding fences. Is this what you're saying? Like that's why
I
would
get.
like,
You may have actually made that charge with me about riding the
yes, I have.
fences,
Yes,
but
I've been completely blunt about it.
You've
and
actually trained me like a Pavlovian dog because now I behave like, you know, to the point where I get to stay and be part of the crew.
That's the Jack Stoffel, is what they call that. Jack Stoffel. Jack gets everybody to goose step right in line.
Well, he
I
even
tell
got
everybody
the
on my
Zetetic warrior.
channel, I tell them I'm
Zetetic,
riding the bull.
he admitted it.
You know.
Oh, sorry, Moose man. I can't.
No, I'm fine. No, it's my fault. You know, you often see this. You know, last year, oftentimes I would interrupt everybody at the wrong time on accident, and I just fail. I just got to stop broadcasting.
No, I was just about to say the same thing, Moose, and I was saying it was my fault because I wasn't reading the panel correctly, and I didn't figure that we were speaking at the same time. There was a lag, so forgive me, brother.
Everything's forgiven, brother. It's
Hey,
all
we're all-
love.
we're all
love?
growing in. We're all growing into this together. There was something said. Damn it. El Perro actually showed up in chat and he came to my mind too. There was a reason he came to mind. Shit.
Apparel.
I don't know. My mind is it was directed regarding being honest, truthful, transparent, growing into that thing.
Right. So that's my conundrum. I mean, it made me want to jump in. It's like, how do you be truthful and transparent, but not manipulative? Sorry.
Beautiful. Because actually that was where my train of thought was previously, was the fence riding. And so this is a great question. How do you make the claim of, standing on truth and at the same time the omission of manipulation? It's the omission of both. I mean, I am honest, which is the spirit, but there is still the egoic resonance, the frequencies of me. Jack is part of this, my background and who I am, what I've learned, my inner desires. So those are always going to be there.
Like
but
residue.
the narrow, it is. But this, where I was reminded of Wizard, is he's another one people have said as a fence rider. He and I present ourselves differently, but when you're consistent in the truth, one day you may be disagreeable with one and disagreeable with another, but I'm consistent in what I say and do.
That I have to admit is true.
Thank you. I hold myself to
the want and to be consistent and true to oneself is great, and I do, and I find that the rest of you dudes strive to do that and on a daily basis to be truthful and honest, which is great. And I feel that, and I hear that.
Well, here, the other part to this too is honest is based upon facts, but it originates from the one who's revealing, what is honest, what is true. Truth has many layers, as does honesty. That's part of the dilemma of being a human, part of our difficulty in communication. What do we say? What should be shared and what should not? And that's a choice each of us have to choose and we have to bear for ourselves. But to bring it back to some of the earlier conversation, what I see in the future is people learn about repentance. Okay? There is something to debts. And it was in the relation I brought up a future without debts. There is something to debts. there is something to being honorable to your word, your contracts, your agreements. You know, it's up to you to be truthful. This was part of as a man living today, this was one of the things I had to resolve within myself too, because not paying my debts, that fucking pissed me off, right? I was failing. Then I had to realize which debts were important, you know, and then it came down to which is more important, someone else's debt or my current food, you know. So you prioritize and you change, and there's a time for debts, there's a time for all things, right? But as people become more honorable, people become more respectful of the truth, then more people will be able to be trusted. And as more people are trusted, we'll have less need for policy enforcement, less excuse for governments, because as our morality increases, the freedom will be shared by us all. And I think that's what we're here to do. I didn't think this stuff myself. Man, I don't know what I would have said if I'd have heard this crazy shit a few years ago, but this stuff is coming from me today. I don't know. I wake up every day and I've gotten to this point. I don't live in the past. I don't live in the future. I live in the moment right now. And so when I wake up in the morning, I've kind of forgotten yesterday and I have nothing scheduled or to remind me. I'm like, holy shit.
Jack, I have a question for you. Could we also add to your agenda, because I was reading about how prisons, they pay for your food there, right? But elementary schools and middle schools and high schools, you have to pay for your own food unless you're on government assistance. So can we also add this to your list of ending wars and suffering and whatnot? Because I'm very passionate about that. I'm passionate about the kids getting a healthy meal. I think that any child in America should be fed when they go to school.
I don't believe that food and education should be withdrawn or withheld from our fellow neighbors under any circumstances.
Lunchboxes? I mean, if you do that, Moose, then the lunchbox companies are going to go out of business.
I know a lot of people might lose their job, but in a way, they might. Well, I guess it would work for the government, so that would be bad. I don't know. We would have to figure out a way for this to work.
No, it's the logistics would create the confusion. So get the mind off the logistics and look at the benefit. The benefit of having our children well nourished, without concerns of food, allowing them to focus more on their development and growth. Holy shit.
Their behavior will be much better. Their strength, their health, they won't get sick as much, won't get us sick as much. They'll be brighter. I mean, more capable human beings, I believe.
Guys, we seriously.
Then you need people that would be able to tell the difference between real food and fake food.
To be fair, school lunch is like $2. I mean, if you can't come up with that, you might have bigger problem.
Hey, there's families that
$2 a day, but a lunchbox you can buy it for $10 and it'll last the whole year.
I don't know.
Maybe not send them to the public food system if you can't afford the lunch at the place, let alone the indoctrination.
Did you call it food system?
Good God, yes. He did. But this is the whole point. If we worked together like as honest people, we would find ways to make sure that the children and our neighbors were not worried about food. And they were not worried about education.
Fuck people that they didn't love or weren't prepared to have children, we wouldn't have a public food system full of reprobate slave children who need nannies for 8 hours a day while their parents chase down their next paycheck.
I know. If our ancestors would have kept their dicks in their pants, this world would have been a lot better off today.
Well, I still feel sorry for all the lunchbox people that are going to lose their jobs.
Guys, this has been fun, but I think we should wrap it up. 3 hours. I've been
Jack.
trying to figure out a length, and I'm actually leaning more towards 2
I know,
hours.
but
Jack.
3
Jack,
hours and 33 minutes is the best one.
come on,
Jack,
dude.
you can
It's
go for.
7:40 here. It's 7:40 Eastern time, bro. It's not even late
Oh,
yet.
it is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
past
if you
Jack's
like get
bedtime.
off now, he's got to go back to being with that wife of his, and well, you know how that's.
He's like, wait, keep me distracted and give me an excuse until after they go to bed. I can't bear to
Right.
face them.
Wow. All right. All right.
I'm just teasing,
You guys are-
Bruce, but
I know.
Hey.
It's a good feeling.
No.
It's a good
Sure.
feeling, and it means I'm back part of the club.
no, hey, we're part of a dysfunctional fucking club, man. It's called the human race.
That's an understatement, bro.
Dude. I mean, seriously, the more I'm thinking about these words, the more I'm believing it's true that God created us for God's entertainment. So we
Oh,
live
yeah,
for the
I
delight
resonate
and
with
joy.
that. We're his fucking
Right?
big joke, right?
Right. Life is only important to us. This is only real because we think we're real. It's all fucking imagined, dude.
God is this sadistic, crazy ass motherfucker with a twisted sense of humor, running things
Well,
up there. That's the way you. That's what you're saying.
That's why I know I'm more godlike than Talcott, because I'm as twisted and morbid and excited for novelty, even if it's at everyone's peril. I'm just like the creator, right? God is constantly laughing and crying at the same time, one would think, if he had emotions. I don't think he or she or it has emotions, but it loves to gamble and play games and watch everyone play their games and,
Oh,
see where it all goes.
Paul, no shit, but you and your panel helped me realize that it helped confirm my belief that God has an amazing sense of humor.
My
Yeah,
paddles like those
I
those
agree.
god type creatures that like sit on that hill, Olympus. Remember they used to make those movies? That's my panel. We're just a bunch of anthropomorphized humans. We're in a little bit better position in some ways. We just kind of look down on the humans and watch them in their folly and mischief, confusion and destruction. And we pray for them, just like they pray to us. We pray back for them. We're praying for you that you'll help yourselves.
Amen. I think that's what the angels and the gods are doing. They're like, why won't you guys pull your heads out of your asses? We've given you like thousands of lifetimes, dumbasses. What's your problem?
Dumbasses. Can you imagine you go into the room? That's one of my series or my movies. You go in the room to meet God and it's Talcott, and he just tells you like that. Thousands of years, dumbasses. I love you. Then he loves you. He sends you to hell while he tells you, I love you.
I love you.
Yeah, it's like go to hell. Much love, brother.
Well, but even that, God's the creator, right? And you create these beings, give them everything they need to sustain themselves throughout their lives. You think you want them, if they're ungrateful and disrespectful,
He drops
Like
two raccoons
damage your other
at
creation.
your front doorstep for you to take care of them. Well, I mean, that's what he did to me this morning. So maybe it's because I was ungrateful, and now he needed to teach me a lesson about taking care of other helpless beings. And fuck me, I've been. This is just crazy shit. 2 baby
I
raccoons.
missed. What?
Yeah.
Oh, raccoons? You
Yeah.
said you got to, hold on, I missed some of this, OTW. So you got a family of raccoons that moved in?
In my camper, the mother ripped a
Oh.
hole through the screen and decided to have her babies in a bag that she opened up and decided to make a nest in that bag in the camper. And then when it's just
Now,
a
to
crazy
be clear,
story
you
that happened
understand
yesterday.
that he's talking about African Americans. Raccoons are a terminology Canadians use. That's how Canadians refer to African Americans. So because it seemed Jack was a little confused there.
Right. So now we have two little baby African Americans on my stove.
They were dropped off. All right, a mother who was disempowered and disenfranchised
Wait,
broke into the
Well,
camper.
there was 5 babies.
Gave birth
There was
to
5 of them,
beautiful.
and now
But-
she left with 3, and she left 2 behind. So I'm stuck with the other 2.
but did you say are you like following Lou? Did you say they're on the stove?
Yeah,
Are
they're
you
on the
cooking the
stove.
raccoons that moved in?
No, I'm
Man,
not.
this is like Rwanda now.
No, they're in a box on the stove because that's
Oh,
far from the reach of my cats. 'Cause I have
so
5
just
cats.
2 little ones were abandoned. Is that what I
They were
got?
completely abandoned, and I just like took them in, and now I got to give them, every 3 hours I have to bring them something to drink and whatever. Then you got to
Hey.
stimulate the little bums there so they have a shit, and I had to read up on this stuff. Good thing Google exists for
Yeah.
that at least.
Jack,
Hey,
that sounds like an exciting kind of proposition, huh? Stimulating someone's bum so that they can.
Dude, I know. Look what humans will do for the animals. Fucking spend time
I
figuring
don't
out.
think
how
that's even necessary. I think that he should
Right?
do that. I think that's his own kind of recreation.
No, it's serious. You have to because they're also
He tried to slip that in there. He's like, stimulating their bums and such. Bro, I've never heard anybody bring up in polite conversation having to stimulate some animal's bum for it to defecate. That
Fuck, I
doesn't
knew I
sound
shot
natural.
myself in the foot. Fuck.
He said the same thing with his nephew, right? I was just stimulating his bum so he could defecate. Bro, that's not necessary. We never did that.
Oh. Hey, OTW.
Paul, you're right. You have a twisted sense of humor, just like God.
Fucking awesome. But OTW, it might be what you said. You got a lesson from life of the fragility that is there, and an opportunity for you to see what you could do.
Dude, I wanted to leave them outside for them to freeze to death and not give a shit. Let nature take its course. And then at 1 o'clock in the morning, I woke up with a conscience, and I couldn't let it go. But I couldn't let it go down, so I went outside and I went and I got them. Fuck.
Yeah, you're
And I
like
guess-
so fucking. This is what I mean about you all. You're so dumb and boring. It's like, wouldn't you want to, like, for the rest of that raccoon's life, have raccoons that are like, come up and hang out and greet people? Like, I'm that guy. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I've been wanting baby raccoons anyway, and someone dropped them off. So now I get to have my own set of raccoons that run around the property, and I
That's
can
what my
call them, and
woman
that's
said.
a cool experience.
Exactly what my woman said. Word for word.
This is why you all get no pussy. I could get pussy in a tent. You want to know why? I got 2 fucking baby raccoons in there. Get with it, pal.
This is gold, people. He's giving you fucking score.
They
tips
come
here.
for the white gorilla. They stay for the baby raccoons.
Fuck, I think I'll send you one by Pure later, Paul.
I would take care of it.
I'm sure you would. I hear they become really good friends and very like they're very intelligent. They're smarter than dogs and shit like that. So you can do a lot of stuff with raccoons.
I'm gonna do like Nero and make the raccoon my only moderator, and teach it to fucking kick out slaves.
You're gonna turn them into Rocket from the Avengers. No, the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, fucking Rocket, man.
Hey, I was thinking about the situation of the raccoons and some of the observations I've had with myself and animals. The raccoons coming in, it's like a common problem. It's nothing big, it's just part of life, and especially if you're near the country. But you know what? as an actual individual experience, that's pretty friggin' cool. You know how many people have never even seen a raccoon in real life? Right? That's actually pretty friggin' cool. And the
Yeah.
babies, I don't know what the hell I do with the babies, but
You guys want to see them?
yeah.
Okay, I'll show you guys. Hold on a sec.
I just want to be clear that I was joking before, obviously, but African Americans are the same. If somebody dropped two little African American babies off to my trailer, I would take them in and care for them. And then, like Trump, I would have 2 of my own African Americans who would work on my property. Well, no, wait. This is going down a... Hold on,
Right.
Jack. I got to watch what I say. I got to watch what I say. They might get the wrong idea. I'll have 2 African Americans who will hang around with me and share experience and never be used for forced labor, of course.
Oh.
Greetings, Jennifer. How are you?
Wait,
Please, thank you.
hold on.
Thank you.
The lighting sucks, but what?
That's a baby raccoon right there. Look, this is what it sounds like when it cries. See, my dog's all excited. There you go, guys. So that's what a baby raccoon looks like.
Very cute. Very cool.
His eyes
I
aren't
just
even
had a
open
thought,
yet.
Jack. Forgive me to continue with this line of thinking. I know I should let it go, but Angelina Jolie and all these people should not get their pick of the African American babies. They should be given to us, right? If anything, the raccoons, we should give the raccoons to Angelina Jolie and them first and see if they could take care of them. We should take care of the African American babies. That's my thought. And Snafu says he could see you with Sunpiz giving birth to little Talcott, African babies. And I wouldn't mind seeing you like Mr. Drummond on Different Strokes, bringing up a pair of African American babies. That would be an exciting, that's a series. See? So let's just think about this. Not only could you care for these children, that's a hell of a series, right? Picture that. Thumbnail, Talcott, 2 little African American babies. People are going to tune in for that.
Paul, no joke. It's not sun-kissed, but the conversation earlier was about, the possibility of would Jack entertain or want kids in the future. And I've actually, the time I considered actually starting a family again included biracial. Yes, that woman. I fell for a beautiful black woman. That's
Jack, that's very loving and
to see
giving
it,
of
yeah.
you to even entertain procreating with the non-humans.
Mm.
I'm kidding, Jack. It's a little supremacism. Right?
She's an angel. She's an angel, though. So your words are true.
Well, wow. I'm just trying to ruffle some feathers and trigger some egos. I'm using a little bit of. There was a KKK man who used to come on and do interviews, and he would call the brown people and the Semitic folks non-humans. Right? He would say the Jews are the devil, and the brown folks are beasts of the field, so they're non-humans. Now, of course, I don't subscribe to the part about the brown people. The Semitic folks, I won't get into. Right? It didn't go well for Kanye. It's not going to go well for me. Let's move on.
Right. Let's move on. But and not to take this to a dark turn, but no shit, there are people out there that think there's a lot of non-humans. Right? That look at the poor, look at different races, different ethnicities, different
Are you talking about
borderland.
NPCs or like the people that consider other people not human at all? Like
They treat them like they're not human. I mean, I don't pay close attention, but I know there's a lot of atrocities going on between Palestine and Israel. This fucking, I don't remember the terms they call it, the expansion of their settlements.
It's usually we call it theft when they walk up and go,
Yes.
"Get out! We're taking your house and your property. because we got
Right.
a claim in the Bible to it, right? It's usually
Right.
that. Unless you do it in the name of God, then it's holy
Yeah,
and
then it's
righteous.
okay.
You got to get with
Yeah,
the game, Talcott.
Right. Right. Well, that's the insanity, dude. It's fucking nonsense. Stealing and murdering from people because supposedly God said. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, Donald Trump did say they have a special relationship with Israel. I think what he meant
Right.
was spreading democracy, which really is just code for we're going to take your property for God and government.
Yes.
You know?
Under the past definitions, current applications of those terms, absolutely. That's what it means. Democracy means we'll tell you who to vote for, and then those people are going to tell you what you can and cannot do. So that's democracy, is vote for your slave master and your oppressor. And we'll send our neighbors and our children and our neighbors' children to war to spread that stuff. Because democracy, man, well, democracy means money, because in this day and age, democracy and capitalism have been married, right? Like there's no separation between them.
But they send these young kids to the wars so they don't have to pay for the retirement funds.
So what I'm hearing from you, Jack, and let me just get this correct when it comes to these folks from Israel, is you maybe have what you could call a final solution, let's say? Right? I mean, I don't know why you're laughing. I mean, this seems like there's a big problem over there, and I think maybe you and some others are the ones who can really get it done.
Well,
Maybe.
Paul, I always search for the truth, and truth is often funny to me. But yeah, in your words, I think I do have a final solution, an alternative to that which was.
Is it a nuclear bomb?
No, sir. That's much too messy. We have sort of a workforce that we're going to cultivate. Right? It's very reminiscent of some things you might have seen before. We're going to do it a little bit different way. Okay? It's a lot more productive. Hail Talcott, if you will. Right? That's a nice ring to it.
I don't know how it's
Easy,
going to
sir.
happen.
Easy, sir. We're on the metaverse. That's, he was blocking out the sun there. That's what he was doing.
I was?
So he had the light.
Oh, could I trigger algorithms by doing that?
That's it. You can trigger algorithms just by that alone. That's hate.
Oh my god!
I was just saluting Talcott. I mean, I was saluting the sun. I mean, I was anyway. Forget about it. Here you go.
Raising our hands in recognition of the future. It's us. We are serious. How it's going to happen, Paul, I don't know. But I have faith that it is going to happen, that we're experiencing the emergence of something fantastic. And it'll mean a complete break away from the things of the past. And honestly, this is what I think. I think just like I've been allowed to do. I used to take my life so seriously and fucking worry about so many things. Now I laugh. I laugh at my past foolishness. And I think that's what the human race is going to be doing here pretty soon. I'm already kind of laughing at the foolishness. You know why?
Because they could have invented toilet paperless bathrooms a long time ago.
I know. Dude, think about this. Because of these markets and chasing for profits, humans have held back. You know what? Accurate words are true. Humans have retarded their evolution by their own design, by their own choices of limiting options through this regulation and debt system. So we've retarded the evolution of our species. And I think I've been imagining, what if humanity stopped holding itself back? What if we replaced our militaries, took those young, healthy men and women, the real smart ones, and bring them to solving problems? And, the real fit ones, they can help support the agriculture industry. We work together to restore and re-engineer the broken systems and to make new ones.
Yeah, and learn how to build houses without cutting down trees.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so many technologies. They're 3D printing homes. Now, I don't know what the materials are. It's probably a bunch of fucking chemicals, but it's happening. It's happening right now.
It's human skin, Talcott. We've revolutionized the way to take all the slaves and grind them down, and then we take their skin, and it produces this sort of gelatinous material, and that's what's sprayed down there to create the 3D structures. It's very Soylent Green. You know, our best people are good at what they do.
And the end result is Jack Talcott. Sorry, Jack. I didn't want to bust your bubble, dude, but you're not human. You're an android printed from a 3D printer and given life through some neurological, biological, like, you know, the robotics of it. You know, it's all a technical thing there, that manifesto that I could, you know, bring up and send you by email. But yeah, so, you know, that's it. I'm coming out with the revelation today. Everybody, you all know now, Jack is a sentient android being, artificial intelligence, who is learning and progressing every day. That's why he hits the reset button every night, guys, and comes back the next day. And that's why it's always a repeating. Yeah, he might have a glitch, people. So we're gonna have to call the crew, technicians, and everything. Have a look at Jack. So, all right. So I guess the revelation is it's out there now. So you guys, you know what to do with it. You know.
Well, I've been saying this a long time. I don't think I'm real.
Jack GPT.
Yeah. Right. Well, here, it applies not just to me. It applies to every one of us. I'm pretty sure. I realized I'm not real. All I am is an experience. And the experience ends every day. I fucking disappear. I shut down, reboot. And then the next day, it's like, holy shit, it starts all over again.
It's like Groundhog Day, but with Jack Talcott.
Right. It's like a dream. And so I've been trying to figure out, where the fuck am I? Because I know I'm not here. This shit, this can't be real.
You're spinning, Jack. Now you're losing focus. Come back with us.
I know. Here's where I'm at. I know what I use. If this is real, I know what I used to think and what I used to believe. I can't believe I used to think and believe that stuff because it was so fucking stupid. But if that was true, then that means I live in a world where everybody else still believes in this stuff.
I thought you were going to say that everybody else is stupid.
Well, that does mean that they're stupid, because it means that the answers are there and they're ignorant and they're refusing to look at the answers. And so that
3
means
hours,
there's
3 minutes, guys.
Hey, 3:33. Maybe we should shut it down. Any second? Hearing none, moving forward. The shit, what were we saying? The reset, the fact that this is a dream, this might be an avatar. I've experienced awakenings in myself, shifts in consciousness that allowed me to see myself and the world from different perspectives. Still from the same body, still in the same house, but according to paperwork is no longer mine. And so, kind of like the movie Avatar, I picture like these are just costumes we're using for an experience. Maybe there's a different part of us that's like just chilling out in heaven, having like a trip, you know, meditating, or maybe it's a dream. We're in heaven in a dream, dreaming life. And because that's nothing matters. It only matters what we do and think and feel and say. Nothing else matters. So that's what I did. I simplified my life. All I worry about is what I do and think and say and feel. It feels pretty fucking good to be alive. Because compared to what? Not being alive?
Jack, dude, seriously, you're starting to look like you're losing it right now. Seriously. It's like...
Maybe he's finding it.
Guys, this is how I spend most of my time alone, honestly. It's just fucking laughing.
No, Jack, don't say that.
Do you look in a mirror when you do that?
No. Well, I talk to myself a lot, and I have these conversations about God, and
of course you do. You have money in the bank now.
I did that before. I'll do it when I have more money, because you know what? I do see a future. I do see a future, Paul, where we rise and abundance starts fucking flowing in. And then I'll still spend my day talking to myself, laughing about God and all the gratitude, and wondering what is going to happen? What could happen in our future?
A lot of things.
I know. I used to think a lot of negative things. Today, I've imagined so many different directions, so many different possibilities. I'm fully prepared and anticipated. What's that?
I said, have you chose one? You said you've imagined more than one.
Yes.
Have you chosen one? Like, is there one you would like to focus on?
I've chosen them all. God knows I'm prepared to receive all of the future destinies that I've imagined and put forth, but also those I've not imagined. And I'm fully prepared to continue to face more challenges, more setbacks. I keep hitting these points though where I'm like, well, okay, that's enough. I can recover. I don't know what else can go wrong. But things have. And I think after overcoming all this shit, you know, I take it in stride now. I'm getting pretty good at it. And that's what I mean. I think the past has been preparing us all. I know this for me. And I know that we're all just sharing a journey through time together. So I know we've all been prepared for what's ahead. It's up to us to imagine and point the directions we want for what we want to see what's ahead. But this world has taught us to focus on the past, you know, to spend all our time preparing for the worst, or, you know, planning to be safe.
You know what, Jack? I'd like to say this. I like you better on your channel. It's like,
thank you, brother.
Yeah,
thank you.
I don't know why. I guess when I see elsewhere, it's like you're less appealing. But right now, like, I guess I don't know. I enjoyed the conversation tonight, and it was fun. It was cool.
This has been fun, and thank you. It's a new energy of a new day. You know, it is a different place and a different energy. And, you know, today my purpose, I used to come on with more of an agenda. you know, with the purpose of trying to get people to want to hear what I had to say, trying to get people to join and to do things my way. And I've given up, and more, and maybe that's why it's more comfortable now. Because,
well, sometimes you have to sacrifice things if you want them to like resurrect. Like, you know, you have to let them go if you want them to come back. If it's made to be with you, and if it, you know, if it belongs to you, if it's a part of you, it will come back. It will remanifest itself in your life. But you have to first let it go. And you know, those are the sacrifices you have to make in your life. You have to be able to you know, sacrifice the things that you hold dear, and knowing that further down the line something better is on the way.
Brother, that was beautiful. I was listening and receiving those thoughts, and at the same time, to reinforce what you just said for those who are listening too, as we detach and allow ourselves to let go, with the belief that if it's meant to be, it'll be. That includes with ourselves, the image of ourselves. It's so scary to change ourselves. I'm remembering back to my days of addiction, right? I couldn't imagine myself being social or doing anything without a buzz, without having a few drinks in me. I couldn't imagine myself different. And so I held myself back from change. But if I'd have realized, if I'd have let my old self go, I'd have discovered the greater one that was waiting. And I think maybe that applies with relationships and jobs. And someone earlier today, I won't mention names, but someone mentioned they were just in a vehicle accident. And that was the encouragement I tried to offer, is this life, individually and collectively, brings us challenges, right? But I do believe that as we progress, typically what we lose or what we walk away from either strengthens us or is replaced by something greater. So OTW, you're absolutely right, brother. Got to be willing to let it go.
Yeah, I know, because I've done it myself. How many times have I had to start over, dude, and accept the things that I could not control, and you know, have the discernment to know the difference between what I can and cannot control. It's like the prayer of a serenity thing there, you know. You know, I've been to AA, not AA, NA. I've been to NA, so I know what the whole 16 months sober until I started smoking weed again. But yeah, so.
There is, you know, that's the thing about truth too. We can hear these words, even say them, repeat them, but there's a method to weigh our body and our spirit contains and carries knowledge, right? So that serenity prayer, it's got layers of truth. And those layers are understood deeper through contemplation. Either, you know, you set your mind to really imagine yourself in different scenarios, applying those words, letting go and finding the boundary of what you can control. And then there's also the other experiential learning, those layers of learning that truth. I thought I'd learned surrender. I thought I had learned many things early in my path of recovery. And as I worked with a sponsor in the 12 steps, I thought I'd learned a lot, and I did. I was strong. But my life has been an interesting one. And I say a lot of things. This time, I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong. And this time being when I'm talking about ego and spirit, consciousness, the way, I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong. But hey, I'm a humble man, and if the future proves me wrong, well, it will have. I've created plenty of evidence.
Talcott, I'm going to echo a sentiment over here. I'm pretty sure I'm not gay. Pretty sure. All right. I mean, there's some questionable activities, like the time that I said that I might want to see Rob Cleveland in the nude. Okay. That might make folks think that maybe I was a little bit gay. And I had to question that. So much like myself and you, I'm pretty sure you're not gay as well. Pretty sure. I mean, all right, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
We all have degrees, right? We all contain degrees of all things. So who knows? I've received my opportunities for homosexual pleasure.
Yeah, but was he cute?
Ish.
I got you. You thought about it. I already got you, Talcott. I asked if he was cute. You had to think about it. That means that in your mind, there is a conceptualization of a very cute man that you would have sex with. So maybe you wouldn't have done it with whoever that was, but you thought long and hard about the ideal man you would have sex with. So enough.
There's been several opportunities, and so my mind wandered to a couple, but it's not me. I'm pretty sure that's not me. But at this point, dude, I don't care. I don't care what is not me until it becomes relevant. And then when it becomes relevant, then I'll know what I am. Holy shit, as I'm saying those words. Thinking about trying to become a public speaker. Trying to become many things. Now I think I'm quit. I stopped defining it as much. I'm just me. I'm along for the ride, but here's the deal. I'm fucking enjoying this ride. I figured out the rules that work for me, the rules of this game of life, and so far, I don't know if I'm right or not, but I'm having fun. And this riding the wave of life, dude, it starts with a drop. The drop starts a ripple, the ripple becomes a wave, the wave becomes just a fucking powerful change. And that's what we are. We're starting those movements through the power of words, strength of truth. And I tell you what, I've seen your heart, Paul. You got the heart of a Christ, as do I. Love's leading us on. Love's bringing us forward.
And we got a shot at like creating a really good cult here. I don't know if, I mean to sort of bring that up too, but I mean, let's just call it as it is, right? It's like we got all this spiritual faith and empowerment and a damn good cult forming.
Amen. You've already got the reputation of being a cult leader, and your subscribers have that reputation elsewhere. So I admit my manipulation. Let's see how big we can make this fucking cult, dude. Let's run with it. Let's change the culture. I don't know. You always got to make the best of the worst, I think. That's that experiential alchemy.
Right. Never let a crisis go to waste is what I and a lot of the folks back at the Academy say.
Yes. Dude, that's what they've been doing. That's what has been used against the populace. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Well, you know what? There's plenty of crises. Let's make them all good. Let's make everything good, and let's use this to our benefit, our advantage. Use it as a reason, a purpose, a motivation for everyone to come together. Pick a purpose. Doesn't fucking matter. Or pick a crisis. Doesn't matter. Pick a crisis. There's plenty out there. Use that as your motivation to say enough. Ignite that fucking fire of change within you. And let's believe we can do something together. Whoever together is with you, you know, whoever's in your family, your neck of the woods, your community. I think when we get enough people coming together in enough different ways, it's all gonna show. I mean, it's all happening right now. It just hasn't come together yet. But I see freedom emerging, Paul. It's the only solution. I refuse to accept defeat. I refuse to believe that these fucking agendas of further control, social credit scores, I refuse to accept that shit can continue. And I know I'm not alone. That's the cool thing.
Well, after that speech, Jack, I'm starting to think Bo Shaney might have been onto something. I might change my name to Hing Hong Paulie and move to Shanghai, because I don't think we got it in us to take this new world order.
Oh, that's so disappointing, Paul. You know how many people I'd win over if I can convince you? Holy
The whole
shit.
world.
I know. I was just thinking that through. Holy shit.
I was a little bit quicker on the.
I'm persistent. You've been warned of my manipulation.
Well, that's comforting. I'm pretty sure the guy from that Netflix special said the same thing after right before he put the woman in the box. There was a special, this guy named Joe, and the woman I was with, I use the term woman loosely, she would watch Netflix, and one of them was this guy who kept following someone around, and I'm pretty sure that was the speech he gave right before she got put in the box and wasn't let out.
There's no box, though. There is no box. Actually, that's the key, Paul. We need to help people free themselves of their minds. Like, literally, you got to convince people to... Holy shit, as I'm thinking these thoughts through. You got to convince people to stop believing what they think. But it's obvious. Everyone's been brainwashed. So to cleanse your mind, you must focus on unlearning. And once you unlearn the lies, then you know the truth. Because it's just obvious and you can't fucking deny it. The truth is. Look, Brian's got the prison cage behind him in the background. That's the truth of this quote unquote free range society we've created. Not created. We were born into this shit. I accept responsibility for not trying to change it until now, but I didn't create this mess.
All right, Jack, are you ready to wrap up? You're ready to wrap up. I can feel it.
Yeah, I actually am. And we'll keep this under the 4-hour mark on this end.
Yeah, you're dropping way too many gems, and you're casting pearl before swine at this point.
Yeah,
You know?
and you're also
Majority slaves.
You're
Go
too
ahead,
happy.
OTW.
You're smiling too much. Your brain has turned to mush. You can't focus anymore. You need to relax, Jack.
No, please don't take that image away, because honestly, this has been a prayer answered. The honor I feel, absolutely, to have Paul the Unslaved, OTW, to have Z. I've had many others today and other days. So
Talcott, you're already beating Ian with the numbers. You're doing like 40, 50 live viewers regularly. And, I mean, you were on here for a while, but when you got with your old boy here, everything started shifting and changing. So you're already about to like pass Ian, in a lot of ways.
Oh.
So there you go. And the more you show up every day, like I told you, the more you're going to get numbers and viewers, even if it's just folks who want to watch a train wreck. Respectfully.
Absolutely. And please, the subscriber count has been growing. I'm seeing the growth, and I'm not ashamed of what I've been doing so far. I see plenty of room for growth and improvement. But please, folks, for those who do come across this, do the subscribe thing and stay tuned, because I say a lot of things, and you get to be along at the beginning. Well, we'll all find out together. Is Jack full of shit, or is he onto something? The future will let us know. But
so mysterious to end with such a remark. That's good. It's keeping us hooked, We're you always gotta leave a hook for us to to come back to the next episode to see what the fuck's gonna happen.
I've been learning from broadcasting legends, so I'm trying to learn as I go. But I do think that is a good way to wrap it up. For those who joined platform and in the chat and in the future times, thank you. Thank you for sharing your time and attention. And golly geez. Today was an inspiring day. That's where I wanted to get to, and then I'll allow you guys to. But today was an answer to my prayers in a way. I was inspired, and I was hoping for opportunities just to have some good conversations. And that was exactly what you guys brought. Beautiful conversations, insight, experience. I appreciate it. Much love. Anything you guys want to add, and then we'll wrap it up.
No, I think we're good to go, Jack. I'm going to hop out and wrap up on my end, and I'll be back tomorrow to open the asylum all over again.
Much love. Have a beautiful evening, brother.
And everybody, be sure to tune into OTW's 30-day Be the Best Version of You challenge, which happens once a day. There's 3 or 4 days left, so be sure to be tuned in to see the ending and also like the last few days of this adventure. So are you up to the challenge? All right. Much respect to everyone. Peace. Adios, Jack.
Amen. Much love. Thank you for joining OTW. I was briefly looking for a link. We'll work it out. Brian O'Shea, thank you for joining, brother. I'm going to allow you to continue with your tasks, and I won't take it up too much more. I think I've shared what I wanted to. Thank you. Thank you is the greatest prayer I think we can offer to the Creator. And remember, the Creator is within you. There's an aspect of you that is the Creator, experiencing and co-creating with you. So thank you. Thank you to you. Thank you to all of you, and thank you to me, and thank you to the unseen for allowing us to be. And I do think we are part of a beautiful future. And from there, Godspeed. Stay tuned. Next time, who knows what might happen next. God bless. Choose love. Peace for everyone.